New contenders appear on the horizon. They are ready to challenge the world order. They will try to lay claim to the title of world's best. Europe and North America will host the best players Arena of Valor has to offer. They will compete for a share of $50,000 and a chance to represent their region at the World Cup. Everyone is out for their shot at immortality. So find your hero, assemble your team. This is the Valor Series.
The armies have lined up and the smell of battle is in the air. The Valor Series presented by AT&T continues now. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Intel Esports Arena, where we have Europe and North America battling it out. Week number 5 is upon us. My name is Bill Jump Carter. Join with me, I've got Jeffrey Suijay Chow and Mr. Will Chobra Cho. Welcome back, sir. How are you?
I'm excited to be back here for the Valor Series and just ready to watch some more Arena of Valor on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, and it's week 5. So much is on the line. So we're going to see the best of the best coming out of these teams today.
Week number 5 is upon us. Teams have been battling every single day to secure themselves a spot at the top. But let's take a little bit deeper look at the Valor Series format.
Welcome to the Valor Series for Europe and North America. Over the next few months, teams will compete against one another to be the first ever Valor Series champions. Let's take a look at what it takes. The Valor Series features 6 weeks of competition with open qualifiers. Each week, teams will enter the qualifiers to earn a spot in the top 8. Points will be awarded to the top 8 based on bracket results. Only the top 6 will secure their spot. The last 2 teams enter relegation and must compete in the open qualifiers the following week to retain their spot. Only the 2 winners of the qualifiers will claim the remaining spots in the top 8 each week. After 6 weeks, the top 4 teams with the most points will compete in the finals in Los Angeles, California. Each team will compete for their share of $50,000, the Valor Series Championship, and a ticket to the World Cup. 6 weeks of the best Arena of Valor teams Europe and North America have to offer. This is the Valor Series.
With 1 week left remaining, there is plenty of money on the line, and so you yourself, as well as some of your friends, can have an opportunity to fight through the open qualifiers and get into the Valor Series for week number 6. Make sure you head on over to esl.gg/ValorSeriesEU to get involved. And Suijay, like I mentioned, those bottom slots of the top 8 and money is still up for grabs.
Yeah, there's money still for grabs, but more importantly, this will continue, guys. Form your team. Every team has started somewhere, so if you love this game and you love playing with teammates, go in there, compete, and you can win some prize money that's on the line.
Yeah, I think things we have said in the beginning of the season still haven't changed, and that this is a unique and great opportunity for everyone to take part, no matter which part of the season you're in. And there's still something to gain, so definitely worth a shot.
Well, not only do you have an opportunity to sign up, but you have an opportunity to win and level up your Arena of Valor gameplay, courtesy of our friends over at Razer. Each and every week, we've been giving away a Razer phone. 120 hertz, the best sound system in the mobile gaming business right now. So make sure you can get your Arena of Valor game leveled up. You can head on over to esl.gg/Valor Series giveaway so you can figure out how you can get yourself involved. And Suijay, I know you spent some time on the Razer phone. 120 hertz refresh rate for a phone is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's amazing the quality and how good Arena of Valor looks on the phone. You can play with all high settings, high frame rate, HD display, everything. It looks really good, plays really well, and it's going to up your game.
Yeah.
Well,
I just wanted to add that it's great to be able to have that opportunity, because you don't really, you can't really see it until you really see it in front of you. So definitely worth a shot of jumping in.
Seeing is believing. Well, we are here in week number 5. Let's go ahead and take a look at the top 8 standings. Europe is up first, and plenty of positions still available. However, Team Newb, 600 points sitting healthy up top.
Yeah, Team Newb is looking like the team to definitely beat. But for me, it's definitely seeds 2, 3, and 4. Week 5 is so critical for these teams. You can see Royal here. It's in the semifinals, so a lot of movements can happen after today.
Yeah, looking at these points, obviously, like we just talked about, 600 stands out. But like you said, Sweetjay, those other slots are going to matter, right? It's not just a matter of saying, oh, we're in the top half or bottom half, but you want to make sure you secure certain seeds. And also towards the bottom of the rankings, there's still a lot up for grabs.
The difference between 5th place and 8th place as far as money allocation is huge. So all of these teams, despite where they might be, every game still matters. But the quarterfinals happened on Wednesday. We've got the semifinal bracket as well as the finals up to grabs for you today. Team Newb taking on Team Royal, and then For the Dream taking on Vitality. What's the matchup to watch today, Sui J?
Yeah, for me, it's definitely going to be For the Dream versus Vitality. I think that's going to be the closest matchup, and For the Dream has been coming in so strong, so I can't wait to see.
Yeah, on the other side, for me, Team Newb, I think is going to have to continue to show up, and it's going to matter a lot on what they can do.
Now, before we get into that top 4 bracket, we have someone that my personal favorite DC superhero, The Flash, has come active. He's going to hopefully be seen in the Valor Series today. Sui J, tell me a little bit about this guy.
Yeah, Flash is a mage, guys. He does magic damage. You can see his first speed, super speed, right? He's a speedy demon that can fly across the map and poke like crazy. So his mobility, his flexibility, and his speed allows him to go to your back line and do so much damage and dance around your team.
Yeah, now what comes with that, though, is that there's so much power at your hands that you have to use it carefully. If you're not really aware of how to use that mobility, it's going to cost your own team around the enemies. However, if we see them just zipping around the whole map, I mean, map control is so big in a game like Arena of Valor.
Not only that, but anytime you have a new hero that comes out, you're not used to seeing heroes be immediately active in competitive play. Arena of Valor says, you know what? Might as well create all of those opportunities for you to do so. So with the high skill cap, it could be an advantage for teams that can master him early, but it could also be a disadvantage if they're not careful. Now, we're not going to keep you waiting any longer. Flash, to be seen or not to be seen, we'll have to figure that out throughout the course of the day. But let's get into our first semifinal. It's going to be Team Newb taking on Team Royal. Now, these teams have played themselves before in the semifinals last week, where Team Newb walked away with a 2-0 victory.
Yeah, Team Newb just was so dominant against Royal. But however, Royal has beaten Nova decisively the past 2 weeks, which means, and Nova is the team that actually took games off Team Newb. So this could be closer than we anticipate.
Yeah, and going up against a team like Team Newb, what we really want to see from Royal is them playing their own game. But at the same time, Team Newb is just a really, really strong and solid team.
And Sui J, we've talked about this a lot, and it's something you have to consider with Team Newb. The flexibility that they have is unparalleled.
Yeah, I thought them subbing him Coco on Wednesday would be a little different, but this team still played to their signature play style. So dominant, and they're honestly the most flexible team. I mean, it's amazing to see them play different compositions with ADC side lane to Kilgroth jungle. It doesn't matter what they play. They know how to play to their win condition and secure a lot of these key games.
Now, this roster that they have, despite subbing in Coco, like what you mentioned last week, have not skipped a beat. I know it's been a few weeks since you've seen them, Chobra, but even in week 2 when you came and joined us, every single member that they have at their disposal can have that all-star pop-off ability.
Yeah, and I think the flexibility is the name of the game here. It's not just in terms of their style, but also their roster, right? And the more we talk about it, I mean, it just sounds like they don't have a weak point at that point if they can adapt to everything. So we'll have to see how that stands up once again this week.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at their opponent. It's going to be Team Royal. Now, despite losing 2-0 to Team Newb in week number 4, the chip is on their shoulder and they're out for blood.
Yeah, we definitely got to watch talented player here. He is a split pushing monster, and this team is known for their amazing split pushing strategy and these 4-man decisive rotations that basically punish the enemy team because of how they're ganking side lane to mid lane and allowing talented player to do his thing alone, take extra towers for free, take objectives, which is why Team Royal was able to decisively beat Nova 2 times in their matchups.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's going to take once again going up against a team like Team Newb, right? If you're trying to fight them head on, you know going in you're at a disadvantage just from what we've seen throughout. But if you try to bring a strategic advantage that you have, then maybe you open up a small window that Team Royal can crawl through and try to get that victory.
Now, this roster, for the most part, have played with each other the entirety of the Valor Series. Hakai, Lady Kappa, talented player, the newcomer, Denalians and Ganja. Now we're considering which of these matchups to look out for. The support matchup, Suijay, is one that I know you're excited for. Ganja having a lot to really step into if he wants to compete with Team Newb.
Yeah, he definitely has. 0-9 is amazing as a support. He is known for his Alice play. He plays any support really well, but Ganja has really impressed me with his Lumber. I'm excited to see how he performs on Alice, since Alice is such a dominant support now that's being priority picked in this updated meta, so to speak. And that's a matchup that I'm really curious to see who's going to be able to outplay one another.
Yeah, personally, I always get excited about support matchups because that's a game beyond the game, right? It's about the mind games, it's about the strategy, and it's about how they impact without necessarily always being in the same spots that you expect other people to be. So something that we should keep an eye out for in this matchup.
All right, gentlemen. Chobra, you last time were with us only had the thoughts and opinions of yourself. You didn't have any help last time. But now, because you've joined us again for week number 5, I'm going to put you in the hot seat first.
Wow.
Team Newb, Team Royal, who's going to win?
Listen, I learned my lesson last time. I'm going with the stats. Team Newb, as much as I'm a sucker for some great wins, Team Newb, it looks like they're going to win. I mean, also just what we talked about, right? It's Team Royal has an uphill battle that they got to fight.
Yeah, for me, I think if you guys didn't see, Team Newb actually is putting in Vex and Coco, so I think it won't be as decisive as we've seen Team Newb play, but I think Team Newb will definitely come out with the win here against Royal.
All right, well, both of these gentlemen on the desk have decided Team Newb, but Twitch chat, are you a believer? Do you believe in Royal, or are you going to go with these guys and say Team Newb? Let us know in Twitch chat with Team Newb or Royal after the pick ban phase for game number 1. We will check back in with you and see how your predictions are stacking up against Chobra and Suijay on the desk. Now, as players are getting themselves in a lobby right now, the pick ban phase has begun. Team Newb on the blue, Royal on the red. It looks like it's going to be a Tulin hover for the number 1 ban, which, as we were saying, is going to be one of the most contested picks for both of these teams.
Yeah, and we know that Tulin is so strong on Poseidon and on Denalians. They both play him so well. So I expect Tulin being banned and also Liliana being taken off the map as well, even though Poseidon and Denalians play Liliana so proficiently.
Now, we talked a little bit about the support matchup, of course, coming up. Ooh, just banning it out? I don't know if that's necessary per se, right, this early?
I mean, you think about new heroes, you think about what they have as a possibility. Maybe it wants to take it off, but I mean, he came out yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So these teams have had less than 24 hours
very new
to prepare. Are they that worried about him? Is he that much of an X factor, Suijay?
Yeah, it's just high risk, high reward. Either you know how to play him and he just carries, or you don't know how to counter him, right? So there's different methods and different ways, but it's easier to remove the variable so that you have a more predicted meta to play into. And you know, with Malik being banned, you guys notice Pitch is not playing on the side of Team Newb, and you know that Malik is such a good hero on Pitch, so that's a pretty smart ban for Team Newb.
Zephys being taken away as well. Now, to couple with that flash ban as well, you have to think about it, Chobra. Even though it's a new hero, even though he might be powerful, that one ban could change the complete tides of what the priorities are for both of these teams in the early draft phase.
Well, yeah, I think that's the big question now, is that what does that open up? Or also, does Royal actually have a very maybe different way and different plan that they have going into this first game of what they, how they can take advantage of this, right? They're going to have the 2 picks coming up in that first round, so maybe this opens up a couple more windows for them as they move into the pick.
Yeah, I think Zenio Superman should be banned. Wow, they don't ban Superman in time, so it leaves so many power picks. Liliana open, Superman open. Oh my goodness, Zenio open, Ryoma open. There's so many strong power picks open.
Teamy as well.
Teamy, yeah.
100% pick ban in both Europe and North America. Both of these teams having it at their disposal. It looks like it's going to be a Zenio hover.
And
now,
Superman? Oh, there we go.
There,
wow.
You wanted some side lane confidence.
Yeah.
We talked about the side lanes of Royal and the split push that they have. Hey, you might as well put yourself in a good spot early.
Yeah, now Teamy is definitely a good pickup here, along with potentially Ryoma. Omen. Yep, Omen is a good counter into the Zenio. So they're going to match up the Omen against Zenio here, and they're going to pick up the Ryoma and actually leave the Teamy open, and which gives a lot of sustain. With Teamy and Zenio, that's a lot of protection and sustain given over to Royal.
Yeah, I think at this point, given how the bans have played out, Royal just has to make this, into their advantage, right? And just say, all right, now there's so many powerful heroes open, we do get to also just play our own game and play to our strengths and see how that pans out.
I like the decision to hover the Violet here. You've got a very strong front line in the Zenio, in the Superman, that allows the Violet to have the spacing. But the question mark now for me, the Lubu?
Yeah, Lubu, they have 3 side laners, so they're gonna play Zenio support here, I believe, and pick a mage in the mid lane. But leaving Teamy over to Team Newb, that's really risky because we saw how proficient they played a Teamy composition with Ryoma on Wednesday.
Do you feel that the Lubu pick was less of a priority for Royal to have, or more of a priority to deny from Team Newb with the Lubu Ryoma combo?
It's more priority for a talented player because he is phenomenal on Lubu. That's his best signature hero. They got to pick a mage here, and they're going to go with Chognar and go for, a mid Chognar, looks like, which is going to be an interesting composition for them to work out.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the overall compositions, I feel like Team New just looks scarier. Just
Yeah,
the way
they do.
you can already picture how they're going to move around the map and how much control they're going to have over the entire pace of the game.
The worry for me, the high risk, high reward in some instances, is going to be what sort of success is the Violet going to find. There's a lot of backline damage. There's a lot of frontline protection for her, but if they fall behind, if Violet isn't able to get the items that she needs to pop off, things are going to be a little difficult for them.
Yeah, and at the same time, they may switch Zenio to support because they know Omen is such a hard counter to Zenio. Ryoma is actually pretty good into Superman. He has a passive, his Nagadina Jutsu, that has a long range that can hit Superman out of his flying state, which counters him. And also, Wailing Blade is a huge long-range stun that can hit Superman. So Ryoma Superman is going to be a very fun matchup to watch. And lastly, it's Omen versus Lubu. That's going to be super exciting because we know a talented player is so good on the Lubu and also 0-7 on Omen.
Well, Twitch chat, you've got to see the pick ban phase. You got to see the predictions from these fine gentlemen. What do you say? What do you feel? 78% towards Team New, 22 for Royal. So, if anything, gentlemen, for the first matchup of the day, you've got Twitch chat on your side. But as you can see, they're loaded into the Antares battlefield. The Valor Series Europe, week number 5. It is semifinal number 1, Team Newb versus Royal. Team Newb, if they win first place here, will secure themselves the number 1 seed coming into the regional finals.
Yeah, and the match is kicking off with the very first game here. Of course, scoreboard set at 0-0, so still Royal needs to keep up that confidence. We'll see if we start to see that movement early on in the game, or if they're going to wait to see if they have a perfect window towards the mid-game to try to bring things back.
Yeah, and I like what they're doing here. They're going to put Coco on Omen, Vex is going to jungle on this Ryoma, and then 0-7 is going to be playing this Max here, which is a pretty even matchup into a Zenio side lane, and they're actually doing its Chognar support. So if they do a Chognar support, that means they don't really have a huge tanky front line, so Superman or Zenio will have to serve as that tanky front line, and as a result, Chognar is going to be more of a backline support versus a frontline support.
Yeah, and just a lot of positioning early on, just keeping tabs on each other, a little bit of harass, but nothing too special, which keeps the side lanes fairly to themselves as well. Of course, Max and Zenio, they're just going to kind of hang out until both of them get their ultimates, but we saw the same for a little bit with Omen and Lubu. We do see the team maybe looking for an opportunity, but playing it safe on both teams.
Yeah, I'm going to see who's going to start aggressing here. Once they hit that level 4 mark, when both junglers hit that level 4, you're going to see some key rotations happening here. You saw what 0-9 did. He positioned as Teamy, as Omen, getting up to the top lane, trying to maybe get a gank on Talented Player, because they know Talented Player is the player to watch, because he is the one that can split push so aggressively. And with Omen being in top lane, Lubu can fight Omen in his ultimate, because of his Conqueror ultimate, gives him so much sustain. He can just stand his ground and fight Omen in the Death's Embrace.
Yeah, we do see Team Newb going for the Spirit Sentinel, just trying to keep ahead in terms of overall movement, overall control. But that does leave the window open for Abyssal Dragon. Are they going to rotate in time? Max does see it in time. 07 goes in. 1v3, just trying to harass and drag this out. Successful in doing so. We see Vex Knight coming in. The Dragon goes to Team Newb, and now Newb just well ahead, and they need to get out without giving away any kills, and that's done well as well. So Team Newb just with a good early lead.
Yeah, what a decisive rotation there. Getting the Spirit Sentinel right off the bat and then rotating immediately. And then you see 7 go in there and distract him, focus his fire on him, so that gives enough time for his team to rotate down. And then Vex just expertly steals the Dragon on Ryoma. And as a result, Royal has to back off, and they lost the Dragon, which now puts them at almost a 1K, easy 1K deficit against Newb.
Yeah, I think that's, Newb had the idea of, hey, we think we have enough time to go for the Sentinel and go down. They were successful in doing so. And man, that's the type of lead that you just don't want to give Team Newb. As soon as they start playing their game, they're going to continue on, and you just can't stop that full-on engine of Team Newb as the game progresses on. We'll see if Royal has some other ideas. Again, I mean, their composition has some windows for sure.
Yeah, what's key here is at the ultimates. You have Omen can make plays with his Death Embrace ultimate. Whoever is going to utilize these ultimates to get a side lane gank, a mid lane gank, can come ahead. So that's exactly what Royal needs to do. They need to be able to rotate, use some key ultimates to win some fights, get a kill, and then put pressure against Team Newb. Because right now, Team Newb is the one putting pressure. They're the ones taking these objectives. They're the one exerting map control. They have river dominance, as you see. They're the ones rotating through river, exerting dominance, and now even rotating onto 7 here.
Yeah, and Royal is going to try to go for that kill. 07 not strong enough, is going to go down with that dive coming in from Lady Kappa. Superman jumps in, and Royal should be able to get out just in a nice dodge away from that teamie. And Team Newb actually caught out maybe a little bit. Superman with a nice knockback. 09 in a bit of trouble, but of course increased movement speed going off. Teamie really, really mobile for such a support.
Yeah, he used his flicker just in time to escape there. It was a risky positioning, though, from side of 09. It was a 3 versus 2, then a 4 versus 2 once the Zenio comes in with his Angelic Spreader from across the map. So Team Noob's even though they are winning, they got to play very careful because they did just lose and give First Blood over to Royal.
Yeah, and tried to go for maybe a bit of a risky play, but actually Royal's going to back out and just give up that Sentinel over for Team Newb. Max was going up with the tracking all the way to Lubu just to get some map control. And now it looks like we're going to stand off a little bit. The Abyssal Dragon is up, and both teams are aware of that. Team Newb has a bit of an advantage. They have 4 people already. Royal's still starting to come down from their side of the map. The Dragon has been started by Team Newb. We got Lady Kappa over the wall. Needs to try to come around. The Dragon's just going to go to... Actually, wow. We got the steal from Ganja. And Royal now going in. They see the opportunity. They want to get some kills. 09 so low. Goes down, but should be able to come right back up with being a bro. Is able to escape. Trying to go back in for the crowd control. God Poseidon goes in. Gets a kill for Liliana. Still alive. A little bit low, but there's a lot of support. And 3v1, God Poseidon able to help secure another kill. And Team Newb turning things around despite losing that dragon.
Yeah, what a great steal by Ganja there. Using that energy surge to get and steal the dragon with an ability from Chognar. However, what happened is they all overly focused onto 09. He used Teamie's ultimate, being a bro, revived himself, and then you saw Vex jump right into the back line, get right onto Violet, and then Poseidon jumps onto the back line and gets on to Superman and kills him. So that rotation, that counter engage from Team Newb was just great. From losing the dragon, they were able to turn that into their favor.
Yeah, I think they were just really aware of the circumstances, and they were all on the same page in terms of backing up as the fight started. And as soon as that ultimate pop from Teamie, they said, "Oh, actually, this is our opportunity." They think they've won the fight, but they don't know what's coming back, and they just jumped right back in, secured some extra kills. So they're able to still keep their gold lead. And yet again, I mean, like you said, Sweet J, the map movement is definitely still in the initiative of Team Newb.
Yeah, what was key about that fight as well was the item parity. Team Newb had more items. They had the Orber Magi completed on Liliana, and also Ryoma had his Soul Reaver and Gilded Greaves completed, so they had definitely a much better damage output when it comes to items, and that's why they won that trade in addition to how they were able to counter engage. With nice mid tower taken by Team Newb and open up the middle of the map, allow them to invade either top or bottom jungle.
Yeah, when you're at such a top level of play and the kind of differences in skills start to close, like you said, those timings are going to be what matters more, right? It's not just about the rotations, but it's about how and when they happen. Do you have the resources you need? I mean, at this point for Team Royal, actually, we're going to have another standoff at the Abyss Dragon right as it comes up. Both teams very aware of their timings. We do see Coco kind of being held off in the back. 09 jumps right in as Teamie does take a couple tower shots, maybe a little too early. Does the ultimate have to be used? Meanwhile, Denalians is just isolated from the entire team. Being a bro was popped, and that gives Team Newb the time to get one kill they need. They're not going to dive the tower yet, but a lot of damage still follows following up from God Poseidon's Liliana.
Yeah, that was so crazy. One mistake that Royal did was Denelians was actually caught out. He was on the bottom and facing a 1 versus 3. And they rushed the Dragon without any advantage. Team Newb has the river control. They have map control. And they're trying to rush the Dragon without either a distraction in place or knowing where where Team Newb was on the map. So because they rushed the Dragon and took that risk, Team Newb was able to rotate and convert that into an even bigger lead.
Oh, Lady Kappa trying to kind of drag out the fight with Coco, but the backup just wasn't there in time. Almost risks his life for it, is able to get out with a sliver and goes back to base to heal up. Team Newb continuing on. So I wanted to ask earlier, I mean, at this point, Suijay, what's Royal's time? Like, what kind of ideal scenario are they looking for?
Yeah, Royal now needs to collapse. They need to do what they're known for, these 4-man rotations with talented player kind of distracting Team Newb, so that Team Newb needs to dedicate, 2 heroes, and they need to get a gank that is an uneven match, an uneven fight, where it's 3 versus 2, 4 versus 2, or 3, and that's the only way they can come back. They need to get a gank and convert that gank into an objective, to more kills, to a dragon, and look at Coco here. He's going to activate his Death Embrace and try to contest talented player, but looks like he won't be able to get out, and Vex does a nice clean rotation to kill him.
Yeah, that's just good backup coming in from Team Newb. Although with the tower, Coco should have been able to win that fight. The pressure coming in from Vex definitely gave the advantage to Team Newb. And you can just see they're just not afraid. They know how well they can weave in and out of the fights with all these heroes. And Deneo is actually jumping in just in case a fight breaks out. So that ultimate's now down for a little bit. Yeah,
you can see Poseidon is playing later on so well. He's landing all of his skill shots. He's poking and bursting down the Violet, who has no magic defense. Violet is pure damage right now, so they have to do everything to protect her, and they need to get her to 3 to 4 tier 3 damage items. That's when she can start carrying. Once she gets that third tier 3 damage item, she has Clav Sancti finished. Right now, she only has Soul Reaver and War Boots, which won't be enough damage because of the amount of Sonic Boots that has been purchased by Team Newb. Look at that, 3 Sonic Boots on Diana, on the Liliana, the Max, and the Omen. They're going to be able to absorb a lot of damage coming from Violet right now.
Yeah, Lady Kappa trying to come in for an extra kill, and 07 took way too many hits under the tower and is going to get caught out. Talented player, meanwhile, still gets collapsed on as well. So Team Newb still making sure they keep even, and they're going to just go for this tower. Should go down very quickly.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was a 1-for-1 trade, but the advantage goes over to Team Newb because they were able to trade a tower on top of that. And now another dragon. That's 3 dragon stat. And you can see the level lead is starting to outpace Royal. Level 12 and 13 and now 14 versus levels 10, 11, and 12. That's really tough. Royal cannot fight now. They need to disengage. They need to turtle. They need to get item parity. They need to get Violet her 3 to 4 damage items and then start to make plays off the mistakes or bad positioning from Team Newb.
Yeah, and every time we switch to a new area in the map, what we see is it's the same thing every time. Team Newb, one hero, one player starts to jump in with the confidence that their teammates are on their way, and they always are. They're always a step earlier. So, Suijay, I mean, you talked about Royal having to kind of bunch up and collapse on someone, but they're just not given an opportunity to do so.
Yeah, Royal is not be able to catch anyone opposite. And look at how Poseidon is playing Liliana. So aggressive, landing so many of the skill shots and poking down the team. And as a result, they're forcing Royal to back off a little bit. But 0-9 gets out of displaced by Superman.
Under the tower. He is going to eventually go down. Being a bro is popped, so that fight can't continue. God Poseidon trying to use that opportunity to come back in. 0-9 still alive with a sliver of health. Still comes back for another stun, giving Team Newb an opportunity to jump onto Denelians. That's a double kill for Liliana. And Royal, that was a chance for them to try to come back into a fight. 07 joining a little late, but should be able to get out just fine. Poseidon there for backup. And now they're taking yet another tower, another set of kills, 8-2 on the kill score, and about 7K goal lead for Team Newb.
That was amazing how they turned a bad positioning into and converted into a better engage. Liliana and Teamy both use the flicker to get out. Poseidon then does so much burst damage. Vex then jumps in, gets key stuns and kills onto the front line of Royal. And the way they juggle the aggro was just phenomenal. They are so good at juggling aggro and cutting fights. This is what makes Team Newb so good at team fights, because they understand the limits of their hero and they're juggling aggro and coming in at the right moments.
Yeah, the amount of times you see heroes jumping in and back out, even with low health, coming in just for those key abilities so they can get some of that crowd control, that damage down, is insane coming out from Team Newb. Looks like Max actually going for Violet, maybe a little too aggressive, stops a little early, but still cut out 3v1, has a decent health pool, but okay, we see Omen coming in, Coco 1, puts down his ultimate, but it's still a 3v2, and Violet's over the wall, just putting out damage, not quite enough yet, and God Poseidon comes in. 07's running out. Coco1 trying to run away, but Superman's catching up. God Poseidon now left alone. Still gets alive once again with a kill. God Poseidon still hanging. Look at this. This is exactly what we talked about. No one is backing out from Team Newb with the sliver out there, still going for extra kills. Now Vex joins in, and Royal is at a crazy loss in that fight once again.
Yeah, and look at that. Not even Kappa is able to secure the kill on Poseidon. The way they are cutting this fight is insane. Poseidon goes in so aggressively. It looks like he's out of position. He takes so much damage, and he gets right out. And 07 is going to be able to lock down Lee Kappa here and secure the kill as Max using the lift-off ultimate.
Yeah, just great use of those cooldowns. And now another high ground tower goes down. Team Newb just looking to blast through and see how much damage they can do. Still quite a bit of time left for the entire team of Royal to come back up, but the majority of them will be up in about 5 seconds. Team Newb, are they looking to finish it? Only 3 of them here. They got a lot of damage. Vex is just left alone at the core. He's going for the win, and we do see Denalians come in. So Team Newb, a little aggressive, but maybe worth the shot just because they're so far ahead.
Yeah, they are. This is Royal's chance to come back slightly here, but they have lost 2 high ground towers, and now they're behind more than 10k gold. They're not even level 15 yet. Most of the team is not level 14, and as a result, they still have to play cautious because they can still lose a fight 4v5, even with numbers advantage here, because of how far they're behind. They need to chain this CC. They need to leverage Superman's displacement ability and CC potential. They need to land Lubu's knockup, and then you combine that with Zenio, his Malice stun. They have to combine all this, keep Violet in the backline, keep her alive, and play and kite with her so that they don't overly dive like we've seen before. And as long as they play together as a unit, they have a small chance of coming back into this game, but it looks very unlikely.
Yeah, it's looking slim. I mean, that last fight, Violet had some great position over the wall, just playing from safety, and still the damage just wasn't coming out. I mean, Coco on that Omen was caught in the middle of 3 people for quite a bit, stayed alive just long enough. And look at this, Team Newb has no fear as they're just charging into Team Royal's base. This should be the last fight if Newb is able to take that victory. We see them positioning, Teamy just trying to keep up on that front line, trying to really taunt them to jump just a step out of the comfort of their base. And meanwhile, we see Team Newb smartly just trying to push down the last high ground tower. I mean, they just want to make sure, listen, if you're not going to let us push us in, then we'll take the entire map. Superman tries to start a fight before the tower goes down, which is the only chance that Royal has, but the health bars just aren't going down fast enough on the side of Team Newb. 07 still in the middle, doing damage to everyone, eventually goes down, but will be still coming back up with that Ancestral Glory. Denalians now was cut out once again in the back line, trying to keep one person out of the fight, but not strong enough. Look at Teamy once just jumping in with the crowd control time and time again. So many people locked down on the side of Team Royal, and Vex9 just putting out damage. Coco1 still alive, eventually goes down. Hakai keep the game alive, should be able to. Vex looking for a chance.
Oh.
Whoa, gets the kill, but Superman with a nice lockdown. So a little greedy. Uh-oh. All right, we see you, 07, going in. They just want to finish this game. They know they had a chance. Superman's pretty tanky, though, and Teamy doesn't have the damage to back up 07. This is just a fight that's going to drag on the game, but it shouldn't be a finish yet. Actually, Kappa needs to go back to base real quick and replenish. All right.
Yeah, they have 3 super minions that are coming up. They can end the game with those super minions. As long as they keep them alive and they can push this tower, they can end the game, but instead they're not. What happened that last fight was key. Poseidon actually was killed first, and as a result, because they're fighting on their tower, Team Newb overly aggressively dived the tower, and Superman Kappa had some great displacements and engaged by Superman, able to CC a lot of the enemy team. Hakai was kept alive in most of that entire fight, and as a result, he was raining a lot of damage from the back line, and that's how Royal was able to turn it around. Now, the level parity has come equal. All we need is Denalians to become level 15, and Royal can get back in this game if they just win the next fight. However, you have 3 high ground towers gone, you have super minions spawning, pushing, putting so much pressure on lane. You know, Team Newb can end the game by just rushing the core because of all 3 waves crashing onto the core here.
Yeah, there's just so much more for Team Royal to have to pay attention to now, especially because of that minions. I mean, we've seen that power come out time and time again. So Team Newb, once again, just posturing. Poseidon has to be the one to watch out. You mentioned how that fight broke down last time, Suijay. Poseidon getting caught out a little too early. Talented player tries to drop in, but the core's just going down way too fast, and that should be a victory for Team Newb.
Game number 1 has concluded, and the supremacy of Team Newb continues along the way. Welcome back to the desk. Now, gentlemen, we saw yet again Team Newb going well. Poseidon changing his name to God Poseidon, and certainly proving just that on that Liliana.
Yeah, he played so well. He did so much burst damage. You can see he was going in and out with Fox Firm, able to kite the fight so well. He would do his entire burst damage as a mage assassin burst that Liliana is, and then jump right back out the fight and then come back in and staying relevant. He played it so well, and we can see Vex as MVP stealing the dragon, making all these crazy jump-in stuns that are able to allow and secure a lot of the kills.
Yeah, I mean, that was just how every fight played out. Everyone jumping in and back out, and no one ever letting off the pressure from the side of Team Newb, which kept Team Royal just at a disadvantage.
It seemed as if Team Royal was one step behind every step of the way. We knew they had a scaling composition. We knew that if they made it to the later stages of the game, they had a chance. But as we've seen many teams falter before, if you aren't capable of standing toe-to-toe with Team Newb in the early game, bad things are going to happen.
Yeah, and they weren't able to trade. They traded one. They ganked top lane, and 2 ganks happened top and bottom. But the team that came out ahead was Newb. They actually got a tower on top of that kill. So if you're going to trade objectives and trade kills, you need to actually convert those kills into objectives. And Royal was not able to do that. The way that Team Newb was playing, they shut down Talented Player as well. He could not do anything split push-wise.
Yeah, we saw that, with the dragons as well here and there. Every fight, as soon as Royals thought they had a lead, Team Newb just came back and took 2 times as much.
And not only that, but it's Team Noob's ability to capitalize on the mistakes of Royal. The one replay we have is, by and large, it was the Dragon Steal that, despite the back and forth, it was still Team Noob's ability to come back in these fights.
Yeah, this was key here. The way that Royale stole this, Ganja stole this, but watch how Team Newb countergate it. But Ganja, again, does such a good energy surge. He steals it, but look at the focus of Royal. Ganja doesn't kite the fight. He just gets knocked out and killed, and they're focusing 0-9 here when their focus should be on Vex, He does a beautiful being a bro. They come back into the fight. Vex jumps onto Hakai and then gets him solo. And now look at Poseidon. He jumps in the back line, transforms to Fox form, secures the kill on Violet, and that turned the fight in their favor.
And Chobra, this was something that you highlighted as well a lot throughout the entirety of the game. Sure, we could talk all day about the Poseidon and the Liliana, but the teamy recognition of how well he can dodge in and out and use those stuns, multiple members getting, locked up, definitely showed his support and the prowess that he has on support.
Yeah, it's the strength you have in having such mobility, right? You can jump in with a hook, you can have that increased movement speed, and your stun is an AoE. So having that type of control and being aware of exactly where your limitations are so you can really kind of crawl that line, toe that line every team fight, I think helped Team Newb a ton in that first game.
So EJ, we've seen now 3 separate total computations of these rosters since adding Coco to the mix. Now that you've seen Coco and Vex both playing in the same game, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this is the same Team Newb that I've seen. Coco was great on Omen. He used the Death Embrace at the right time to secure key kills. He shut down Talented Player, locked Lubu in there, and you saw 0-7 rotate as Max, or Vex would rotate, and they shut down Talented Player's win condition because he was so good at split pushing against Nova. He didn't do anything in that game. He was not as talented as you could say in that game, and that's how, the way Team Newb plays. They are able to shut down their opponents so well.
Game number 2, pick ban, is going to be starting very shortly. Royal will be taking up the blue side, Team Newb taking up the red. Now, I think it's safe to say Royal will have a better chance in Game 2 if they use all their bans.
I was gonna highlight that. I mean, listen, you got to think back to where it all started, and while in the previous ban we said, all right, try to use it to your advantage, clearly that didn't work out. That's right, it didn't work out.
And you have to think, if that last ban went over to, say, the Liliana, I wouldn't be surprised if Liliana would have been their final ban.
Yeah.
Would that have changed the direction of the game?
Yeah, I think it would have, because Poseidon just carried so hard on that Liliana. The amount of poke he was doing, and the way that Royal was positioning, they were bunching up and letting him get so much value from his Shining Light AoE damage and Binding Light hits, so they need to be careful with that. And here is a good way for Royal to pick up Liliana. If they don't ban Liliana, Denalians plays Liliana really, really well. However, Teamy is still also open. And if you give Team Newb Teamy again, that's a really risky play.
I still have to give credit to Team Newb for respecting the Tulin that both their mid laners can play.
Oh.
Now, Zenio or Liliana...
They should take Liliana here.
They have
100%.
to take Liliana.
Yeah, because they lost against Liliana and they had a Zenio, and Zenio didn't really do much of their... But the bigger question is they need to learn how to kite the fight. Royal, you can see Ganja go in there, they get killed. You have to kite the fight and understand how this game really accelerates with each hero, because you kite the fight, your abilities go off cooldown, and you can get right back into the fight. That's exactly how you play and why kiting the fight is so important.
Chobra, we saw Team Newb understand exactly, or they knew and recognized their power in the team fights. What are some of the ways that Royal can potentially, or is there a way that they can fight Team Newb at their own game with these team fights?
Well, no, I don't think that's something you can pick up from one game to the next, right? And I think it's what Suijay mentioned during the first game that's going to matter is, listen, Royals used to collapsing and kind of going full speed, right? They're a race car with no brakes. As soon as they start the fight, they want to just go all in and secure that win. And we saw that even though they were losing, they were like, all right, we're going to continue fighting and kind of stick in the fight. So honestly, it's it's those first couple of objectives that they need to pick up.
Wow, Murad along with Ormar, but you have a Teamy, so is that a Teamy mid lane, a Teamy mage? It could work because Teamy mid lane mage does so much. He can literally delete and one-shot someone.
Yeah.
Putipoots has a 200% scaling magic damage. He literally, once Teamy gets laking, can literally carry and kill an entire enemy team.
Yeah, it's a lot of burst, and it's AoE like we talked about, a lot of mobility that comes with it. So we'll see how that plays out. Meanwhile, on the side of Royal, we see the full lineup. Not much, obviously, Liliana coming in, but Flash!
We get to see him, boys!
Okay, I mean, I was wondering, no ban came out this time.
Look at that, 07 is playing Teamy. That's going to be exciting to watch. So what Royal needs to do, they need to shut down the side lane. Teamy has no range, doesn't really offer that much side lane. They need to shut down the side lane of Teamy, just gank kill him, make him waste his ultimate on himself, take that lane, win it, and hopefully snowball Newb.
Now, you also have to think we're going to get to the Flash. That's we're not going to gloss over that one. However, the only change that you have for Royal is bringing in the Liliana. Chognar's clearly not going to be playing mid anymore. Does this help the roster a little bit more in their composition against this Team Newb lineup?
Yeah, I think the Chognar is interesting. He can just cancel the Ormar. Ormar wants to go in there. Teamy wants to go in there. So Chaos Protection can give a lot of protection against the multiple stuns that we have coming from Wonder Woman, Teamy, and Ormar. So that's going to be a deciding factor. So I like the Chognar. The only thing is he's not a frontline. We saw Ganja go in there and literally just get melted and deleted. So he's got to play it careful and allow Zenio and Lubu to be his frontline and then him come in as a support.
Well, gentlemen, we've seen the Flash, but we need to know whether or not that's going to be successful. What do you think of the Flash? Are you enjoying it? Are you not enjoying it? Well, let us know. Use the hashtag Valor Series. Head on over to Twitter. Let us know your predictions. Let us know your thoughts. Game number 2 of our first semifinal here for Valor Series Europe has started. Chobra, Suijay, you have the call. What's this Flash going to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really important because, once again, it's all about that kind of kiting guerrilla warfare type team fights that Team Newb showed us in Game 1. And again, I mean, all of their heroes are capable of doing so on the side of Team Newb. Like we discussed, the Liliana, right? Denalians and Liliana, how much of an impact is the Liliana going to have? I think that's our key point. And right now we do see 09 back on the Teamy, so just going to be a roaming Teamy, being annoying once again from beginning to end of the game. And, oh, God, Poseidon, all right, showing us a little bit of what Flash can do.
Yeah, Flash is so fun to play. I mean, he's so mobile. He's actually a little weak early game. If you think about it, he doesn't have as much range. He does have his super speed and the Mach Punch. And the key to Mach Punch is he launches 5 furious punches, and you have to try to dodge, especially against the last punch does double damage. And if he lands the last punch, it's going to give him a movement speed buff, allowing him to stick onto your ADC or your squishy target. And that's what Flash wants to do. He wants to get to the back line and eliminate your squishy carries. So Flash is someone you need to shut down early game.
Talented player going down to a quick little game coming in from 09. So that's first blood going over to Team Newb. I mean, that almost just seemed way too calculated coming out for Team Newb. And Denalians actually gets caught out trying to come for support. 07 was so low, and that was the bait. And 07 still alive, and Team Newb gets yet another kill.
Yeah, that was an interesting rotation. I don't know why Denalians was rotating up to top like that when he just saw his teammate die. And as a result, 07 with his crazy teaming play. Landing the chain lance and the pooty poots, and then Omar, this combo could work theoretically, right? You have the stun from Teamy, you have the multiple stuns from Omar. This can be stun heaven for them, and that's probably how they were able to kill and secure Lubu. And Denalians needs to be careful. Liliana is so weak when she's not level 4. She doesn't have the mobility. She doesn't have the Fox form to escape, and it's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and just a very clean dragon coming out from Team Newb. The 0709 combo, we'll see how that continues to play out between that Ormar and the Teamy. And now it's all kind of back to square one, but I think we're already starting to see that movement and that mobility, right? The awareness coming out from Team Newb. Meanwhile, Team Royal still a little reactionary. I mean, Ganja just keeping an eye out on 09, but not able to do much. And there's what you talked about, Sweet Flash.
Look at that poke damage there. And you can see Talent Player is being shut down. He's not able to do as much in lane. This is a 2K gold lead already, and it's still pretty early in the game. So this is something that they have to now be careful. They have to bait Poseidon, make him come in, and then counter him, because Flash cannot be targeted and when he goes in, but when he comes out, you can actually CC him and hit him so he can't get back to his in. And you can look at the arrow there. That's how you counter him. When he goes back and you lay something down, you can actually stop him from retrieving from his original super speed location.
Uh-oh, 09 gets cut out a little too far, and so we'll go down. Vex just trying to kite over the wall with that ultimate from Murad. And now that's just a reset. So now the kill score is reset to 2-2. Royal trying to fight, but Poseidon's just doing. There's the ultimate, doesn't get a hit, but that could have been the death for Ganja if he was caught in the center of that.
Yeah, definitely. That ultimate does so much damage AoE, and also when you stay in that Cyclone, the vacuum then activates at the end. It'll pull you in towards the middle and basically CC you slightly, and that's kind of Flash's win condition. So if they can avoid that, they will be in good shape.
Yeah, there's so much, you talked about the Flash kind of being untargetable, going into certain abilities, and we see the same in Murad. I mean, that's going to be something that Royal needs to watch out for. The timing on when they use their abilities and how they lock people down is going to be so important, because if they're a second too early or a second too late, it's all just blown, to waste, and then Team Newb can continue the fight on their own condition.
Yeah, and Murad's ultimate, Temporal Turbulence, along with Flash's ultimate, Cyclone, make them untargetable and actually immune. When Flash ults a Cyclone and a tower targets him, he doesn't take any damage while he's ulting, and that lasts 2 seconds. So it's a very tricky outplay potential here. Flash can go in and force the team to waste all their abilities on him, and he can just ult and then dodge all that CC. So they got to be very careful with how they play against Flash here.
Yeah, now 3-person, semi-dive coming in from Royal, but 07 still goes in. Gets some decent damage, but a step too far away from the tower. And wow, this is, I think, the first time in the 2 games that we've seen Newb, a second late in their backup. They were on their way up, and despite the mobility coming in from Teamy and the Flash, they weren't able to save their teammate. But the tower's still alive, and it should be fairly healthy. We see Teamy on the map going back up towards that top side.
Yeah, I'm so curious to see what 07 is going to do on this Omar here. He's playing a weapon Omar, so a lot of attack speed, and if he gets enough attack speed on Omar can stun you constantly for days and ages, and that can be very irritating to play against. So I'm really curious to see how 7's going to be able to scale this Omar up into the mid and late game with that passive stun ability.
And now, the big difference, I think, from last game is that the pace just seems a lot slower, which hopefully works to the advantage of Team Royal if you're looking for them to try to bring this match back to Game 3. Talented players still getting cut out, but had a couple early kills, should be able to stay alive. Lady Kappa comes in. Oh, but all the burst coming in from 3 people on the side of Team Newb. We're not going to see talented players survive that gank up top. Denalian's coming in, but I don't think anyone's low enough. Just like Poseidon cuts them off with the kite. Knows he's safe. Ganja gets caught in the middle, but we do see Akai coming in with the support. Zennial comes in all the way across the map. 09 not able to keep himself alive, and the Flash just going down as well. That's a sudden turnaround, and this is kind of the opposite of what we saw in Game 1. Royal now making best of the advantages they're given.
Yeah, that was a great play there. Flash, Poseidon was focused on the Ganja, and then as a result, he didn't super speed as far as possible away from the Royal. Royal then able to get him, CC him, and secure some key kills here, making this 5-5. And as a result, you know, Team Newb is not in that huge of a lead. However, they have to deal with this Vex late game. Once Murad gets to late game, he gets 4 or 5 damage items. He can literally single out and kill a Violet because Violet is not going to build as much defense. However, we see Violet then maximizing, instead of getting War Boots like last game, Lee Kappa's opting to build Sonic Boots.
Yeah, going for a little bit of that survivability, knowing that they need to stay alive in order to put out the damage that they've acquired. So we'll see how that pays out. Meanwhile, Hakai just gets taken down under the tower. The tower goes out. 07's pretty low, but that's still 2v1. The heal comes out, and we do see Hakai jumping out. Meanwhile, 07's kind of left to die. Another fight in mid lane, and the Flash jumping all the way back, kind of showcasing the power that that hero has. 09 flickers across the wall. Hakai doesn't get the knock up, but still able to chase. Should be able to get the... Oh no, the stun right from the brush, using that vision to his advantage.
Yeah, what a nice rotation by Lee Kappa there. He is able to rotate and actually get the kill onto 07 because they were winning the fight. It was a 2v1 in the top lane, and Lee Kappa then rotates. But Team Newb playing that like the smart team they are, they're rotating and trade that kill for a dragon, and now Royal is doing exactly what they need to do. They then know that since dragon was taken and the team is down there, they rotate and push top lane to get the top tower.
Yeah, Ganja cut out a little bit, should be able to get out just fine with ultimate, but yeah, there's that damage starting to really come out from Murad, just the ultimate, and already down to about a quarter of his health on Chognar for Ganja. And so we do see Newb still putting up the pressure, but Suijay, you mentioned it, and I think we're starting to see a little bit of hope coming up from Royal. They're reacting a lot better to the situations they're given compared to Game 1.
Yeah, look at Kappa. He's rushed Sonic Boost, and now his third item, he rushed the Frost Cape. So he's building a lot of sustain against a very heavy weapon damage lineup from Team Newb, with Ormar getting Spear of Longinus, which allows him to shred armor and allow Murad to do even more damage. However, Violet's gotta be careful. If Poseidon gets onto Violet, he can literally combo her, punch her to death, and then use Cyclone to then finish the job. So they gotta be, Kappa needs to be very careful. He needs to save his tactical fire roll to jump away from Flash.
Yeah, we haven't quite seen a full-on fight and how these teams react to each other. And again, specifically, the Flash is the X factor, of course. Not only because it's on the side of Team Newb, but because he's the newest hero in the game. Wow, look at that damage coming in. The second catch is leading Kappa, but not at the end. So the vacuum's not going to come through, and Team Newb's going to have to back out. But Poseidon, I mean, he risked nothing for that. No health lost, and now they're able to continue the pressure.
Yeah, they got to be careful. You can't punch up against Flash, because when he does Mach Punch, and look at that, he almost takes out Denial Aliens there. If you're standing together and you let Flash do that AoE Mach Punch damage on you, and you get hit by the last punch, it does double the damage, so they gotta be very careful.
Yeah, leading Kappa caught across the wall, no exit there. I mean, that's 3-4 people jumping up. That's an easy kill for Team Newb, but they still weren't able to pressure that tower in the mid lane as much as they would have wanted. So they're just gonna reset a little bit, steal that buff, and try to see where they can take control of the enemy jungle. Hakai just trying to make sure that they don't run amok on the side of Team Royal. And Royal now taking their turns, kind of going back to base, replenishing and coming back. But, of course, Poseidon doesn't have any of those worries with the poke that the Flash offers.
Yeah, Royal is not that far behind. What I would love to see is when Poseidon comes in, I would love for Chognar to use his Chaos Protection, because that will be damaging the Flash, and that will interrupt his recall ability to go back to his original location for super speed. That's how you need to counter the Flash. You basically bait him to come into your backline, and then you basically lock him down. And once he's locked down, get the Malice stun on him, get the Lubu knock up. You know, there's so many things, and Denalians also has the Binding Light stun as well from Liliana, so they need to combo to be able to win these fights.
Yeah, meanwhile, another quick little dive coming in. I mean, again, both Murad and the Flash can use their abilities to jump under tower, just like we're seeing right now, get that poke down, and then jump back out. They almost got the catch on Poseidon, but he gets out just in time and will save himself. But that's what you talked about, Suijay. You got to take advantage of the small window you're given when the Flash jumps in the first time.
Yeah, exactly. You can see what Poseidon did there. He expertly used a Cyclone ultimate, was not targeted by the tower, did not take any damage, and that's exactly how you play the Flash. Look at him. He's just dodging abilities left and right. You have to basically time it to hit him on his recall back, but you can cancel that recall super speed run back But that's the best way to counter him. And if they can catch Poseidon now, they can turn these fights in their favor. But right now, it's looking so hard, man. He's the Flash. He's just too fast.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's living up to the name of the hero and what, where that hero comes from. The speed really playing advantage to Team Newb. But again, I mean, this isn't the game we saw in Game 1. We're seeing Team Newb being annoying, but they're not quite seeing the fruit like they did in Game 1. So Team Royal just needs to keep their head in the game. And, as they start to converge around some of these objectives, I think that's the window they got to look for with the Dragon coming up in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, the good news is Royal is not as behind as they were Game 1. It's 6-6. They're not 10K gold behind. They are starting to lose that gold advantage. But Violet is trying to get some tremendous amount of damage poke here. She has pretty good defense against attack damage with Frost Cape and Sonic Boots, giving that damage reduction and armor that she needs against a Murad and against an Ormar. However, they have to be careful. Wonder Woman Coco has not done much of Wonder Woman yet.
Yeah.
If Team Newb is able to combo these ultimates with Teamy Stun, Wonder Woman Stun, Ormar Stun, that's a ton of CC to basically keep Poseidon and Murad safe. And look at the amount of easy poke that Vex is able to do there from downtown.
I mean, both, again, Poseidon and Vex, I think that's where we got to keep all our eyes on it. Ganja gets cut out a little bit, has to use his ultimate to get out. Poseidon tries to jump in, gets the Cyclone. Talented player is going to get caught out and gets killed. Coco picking up that one right across the wall. And Team Newb with 1 kill, but can they turn that into an objective? They're trying to position. We do see Chognar going back to base, and 07 jumps in first with that front line. The lead Kappa just had no exit, and that means that we also have Denalians on that Liliana left to die alone against Team Newb.
Yeah, one thing you notice there, they both used their executes there in that one engage and got the kill. So Flash and Wonder Woman, they both have executes. So when they burst someone down and get someone really low, that execute's going to play a huge role to securing the kill. And that's exactly what they did. So Flash with execute actually is a very, very smart kit that Poseidon has set up there.
Yeah, again, jump in, burst, and then finish off the job. They should be able to get the high ground tower as well. So they're finally turning a win in a fight into a great advantage, taking 2 and kind of clearing out that entire mid lane on this map.
Yeah, you can see Talented player is not being able to do much on this Lubu. This is one of his most talented heroes that he plays, and we saw him carry so hard on Wednesday. However, Team Newb has kind of figured out how to stop him with these rotations, these 2-man versus 1, 2 versus 1 against Talented player, and as a result, he's not able to push the side lane, push and split push to be able to get Royal right back in the game. And as a result, Royal, they need to kite and turtle again. Unfortunately, they are 10K gold behind now. And Darkslayer is a very important objective right now.
Yeah, it's not looking too good. Again, we saw some hope early on in the game, but Royal slowly slipping out, and Poseidon and Coco both just jumping in there, cycling. A Talented player actually gets caught out a little bit, locked down from Coco. Should be able to get out for now. No, they see the rest of Team Newb coming in, so Coco jumps right back in with the lasso, and they're diving into the enemy team. Team Royal smartly kind of converges under their own tower and forcing Team Newb to back out. 09 gets caught. Poseidon jumping in with very little health, but I mean that's what we saw. That attitude is what we saw in Game 1. And meanwhile, Vex said, all right, you know what, keep him busy. I'll go take a tower. Wow. And now Team Royal's mental fortitude has been broken down. They lost focus, and they're losing 2 people as they go down in this game. Vex jumps right back in as well to clean up that fight, and Team Newb back on the offensive despite the rough start to that base fight.
Oh my god, Denalians just disappeared. The damage coming from this Ormar. Look at his items. Frost Case, Pure Longinus, Fenrir's Tooth, Muramasa, that armor pierce, the armor shred, and the 50% extra, the 30% damage amp when the opponent is below 50% for Fenrir's Tooth. That Ormar did so much burst damage onto Denalians, just deleted him off the map. This build from 07 is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's just all aggression because the poke can come in from the other members, and so just charging in as Ormar, kind of being that aggressive front line rather than the one that soaks up all the damage, is really working out for Team Newb. Lady Kappa might be caught out here. We do see Ormar jumping in on the map. Meanwhile, on the top side, Lady Kappa actually gets saved by Hakai, so 07's going to have to back out. Violet's going to have to run all the way. Don't get caught out. There's 3 people coming in. Dodges the lasso, but Poseidon says there you go. Oh, doesn't finish the kill just yet. Lady Kappa just hiding in the brush.
Yeah, if he had his ultimate, he would have finished the kill. Or he could have auto-attacked the Violet, but instead he decided not to.
Oh, nice catch by Poseidon.
Oh, that map jump, that mobility all over the map. That's insane.
Well, that should be the fight then for Team Newb. With Violet gone, the damage output coming out from Royal just isn't there. So you can see Newb afraid of nothing. I mean, Hakai just trying to drag the fight on so they can't focus the core, and is spending a lot of time. So really doing the job that the Zenio needs to do in that circumstance. Zenio now low, though, has to go replenish. We got minions coming in. And so Team Newb positioning to see what they can do. Right now, they just have 3 people in the middle. They're trying to see if they have an opportunity. If not, the side lanes are pushing. And wow, Team Newb actually gets caught out. 0-9 getting very low. Of course, being a bro, still up and available and doesn't have to use it. Just keeping that low health and in the enemy's face, and Poseidon just taking some hits. Again, just dashes right back out, and they finally get another high ground tower. And this is what Team Newb wanted to do, right? If they can't force the win, they're going to slowly dry it out from under Team Royal. Oh my gosh, this is a damage burst.
Is a monster on this flash. And look at Vex there. He's not targeted, and this is going to take the core down, and GG for Team Newb.
Just like that, Team Newb walks away with a 2-0 victory on the back of some flashy plays by Poseidon himself. Welcome back to the desk. Now, despite the unconventional style that you can say with a flash in the mid lane, not something that we were expecting to see, Team Newb still walks away with the victory.
Yeah, it was mostly somewhat of an even game. It was equal in kills, 5-5. However, Team Newb just exerted way more map control. They had river dominance the entire game. They were taking objectives in river like Spirit Sentinel and the Abyssal Dragon, and also side lane. Royal side lane was not able to do much.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about the comparisons to what we saw in Game 1, but I think it's because of the heroes they picked. Like we talked about Murid and, you know, the Flash coming in as much more just poke-heavy rather than being able to jump in and secure the fight from the get-go. When they saw the opening, though, we saw them use it to their advantage, and suddenly people just disappeared off the map on the side of Team Royal.
Well, we do have one replay to show you, and it was Team Newb again showing their power in the team fights, but it also shows the potential that Flash brings to the table.
Yeah, look at they engage on Ganja. Ganja had to use Chaos Protection, and look at Poseidon. He goes in there, and look at the damage coming from Cyclone. Locks him in, gets the vacuum onto Talented Player, secures the kill, comes back out, and then once he gets off his cooldown, he's going to go right back in. Look what he does to the now aliens here. Look at the engage coming here. It's going to be so much damage coming from Poseidon. And 0-7 there, missing his ultimate. He stuns Lady Kappa there. They jump in, they secure the kill. 4 versus 2 collapse. And that, as a result, gave them the mid lane.
Yeah, jumping in from across the wall, getting that dive, and then being able to go back out that easily. Yeah, that's the power of the Flash. And I think now teams are going to be a little bit more afraid of it than maybe they were, because early on in the day, we're seeing it in the first match.
Well, our MVP is going to go to none other than Poseidon himself, who played the Flash, but it wasn't the Flash play that gives him the MVP. It was Liliana in game number 1.
Yeah, he did so much work against World with Liliana, going in and out, cutting the fights, landing really important Shining Light, AoE damage, the stuns, the Fox form, all the bursts he did. He was just in and out, and they couldn't lock him down. And as a result, he was able to go back in the fights and clean it up.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that the play we saw from Poseidon's Liliana is kind of the greatest example that you can show for someone on saying, hey, this is what Liliana's capable of. Here, watch this game. And every fight, everything that Poseidon does is what you should, strive to become if you want to be a Liliana player.
Well, with that, the first semifinal has concluded. Team Newb walking away with the victory, putting themselves in 5th straight, gentlemen.
Wow.
Finals here in Valor
crazy.
Series Europe. They will be going up against the winner of For the Dream and Vitality, which we'll have coming up next. Meanwhile, while the semifinals were going on, Arctic Gaming played Nova. Nova walked away. Important to note, 2-0 victory, both games sub 9 minutes. That now places Nova and Royal, you ready for some fun stuff? 5 points between each other coming into week number 6. Both of these teams having an opportunity to get themselves in the top 4. They could find themselves both in or out. So if you want to talk about all on the line, these teams have played each other a lot in the Valor Series It's going to be a good one, Sweet J.
Yeah, it is, and it's gone back and forth. But Royale does win the last 2 matches. Royale has beaten Nova, so to see Nova come back like that, it's gonna make for a very interesting week 6.
Yeah, and you never know what people are capable of doing when they're pushed to the edge, right? With that last week coming up, and so little difference in the points, I don't think we can call it from here right now. We just have to wait to see the games.
Week 6 is going to be a very interesting week if that is already what we have at the very beginning. But what else do we have? We've got code drops for you. If you're watching in the Twitch chat, use that ! drop. We've got North America, Europe, and South America. Valor marks available. If anybody has been playing Arena of Valor, of course you have. You know, the Valor Fest is upon us, and those code drops could potentially create you some fun stuff.
Yeah, and just keep note that these are region locked. So if you put in that code, the command in Twitch chat, you're going to see 3 different codes. Make sure you use the one that's for your own region. Otherwise, you're going to miss out and not feel so good.
Yeah, you get 20 Valor marks, you unlock a hero. So keep that in mind. So make sure you guys catch the drops.
Make sure you're checking that out. But our first semifinal has concluded. We have For the Dream taking on Vitality. Both of these teams needing to win to make sure they can secure themselves a top 4 spot and a trip to E3 for the regional finals. We're going to take a little bit of a quick break, but we'll be back in a flash.
Welcome to the Hero Spotlight for the Flash, the fastest man alive. The Flash deals magic damage, yet has strong melee and super maneuverability, allowing him to assassinate enemies from afar. There's no escape from the Flash. Let's begin. Passive Sonic Boom. Every time the Flash moves 4 units, he will receive 1 stack of Speed Force. Upon reaching 10 stacks, the Flash will activate the Speed Force, strengthening his next normal attack while dashing forward. He also temporarily reduces his target's movement speed by 50% and deal 280 magic damage. When he hits his target, he gains a shield of 700. Use the protection afforded by the damage shield to get off some attacks on an enemy hero. Sonic Boom will help you keep the upper hand in the lane. First ability, Super Speed. After a short charge up, the Flash dashes forward, dealing 300 magic damage to all enemies in his path. The Flash cannot be controlled while dashing and can cancel the dash by using another ability. When the Flash reaches his destination, he can activate the skill again to return to where he started, dealing 300 magic damage. Enemies damaged by the initial dash are dealt an additional 450 magic damage. Use Super Speed to give yourself distance between the enemy. While the enemy continues to pursue you, activate Super Speed again to return to your original position, thus tricking the enemy and giving you more time to escape. Second ability, Mach Punch. The Flash channels the Speed Force and punches an enemy 5 times within 0.8 seconds, dealing 270 magic damage every time. The last punch deals double damage, and when it hits an enemy, grants the Flash a 40% movement speed increase for 2 seconds. The Flash can move during Mach Punch, so make sure you're within range of the enemy to get all 5 hits off. Please note that Mach Punch won't trigger his passive Sonic Boom. Ultimate Cyclone. The Flash takes off in a circle and creates a cyclone, dealing 160 magic damage to surrounding enemies for 2 seconds. While he is generating the cyclone, the Flash cannot be targeted by abilities and can move the cyclone's position at 40% of his movement speed. 2 seconds later, when the Flash stops, the vacuum from the cyclone pulls in surrounding enemies, dealing 800 magic damage. If the enemy is going to use a control effect on you, you can Cyclone to prevent them from controlling you, as the Flash is immune to all control effects while using his ultimate. Want to be the best ever with the Flash? Then listen up. We have some tips that can put you on the right path. 1. The Flash can get 5 stacks of passive using the first part of Super Speed, then gain 5 more stacks using the second part, giving him a total of 10 stacks, thus allowing him to activate Sonic Boom. 2. Try out this effective combo with the Flash. First, collect stacks for his passive. Get in close with super speed. Swing with his strengthened normal attack from Sonic Boom, then use Mach Punch to get in 5 more hits, then immediately use Cyclone. After that, use the second part of super speed to return to his original position. The combo sequence is as follows: normal attack, ability 2, ultimate, ability 1. 3. For level 3 Arcana, get Violate, Gorilla, and Hex. For talents, get either Execute or Flicker. 4. In a team fight, get up close with super speed, then use Cyclone to control the enemy. Coordinate this with another hero. For example, Diao Chan, to set up strong control to allow your teammates to deal massive damage. Thanks for watching today's Hero Spotlight on The Flash. See you on the battlefield.
Okay, so maybe we haven't reached supersonic speed quite yet. We're still working on that one. The Flash is new. We're still trying to, get our training wheels off the ground. But alas, we are back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Valor Series Europe continues. Jump, Suijay, Chobra. We just saw Team Newb dominate in their first series, but I know this is the one you're excited for, Suijay. It's going to be Vitality and For the Dream coming up now.
Yeah, it's a story of offense versus defense. For the Dream playing so aggressive offensively, and Vitality, probably one of the best teams when it comes to playing defense and making games go really long.
So if that's the case, Suijay, are you the type of person who says the best defense is a great offense, or vice versa? Where are we leaning towards here?
I think the best offense is the best defense.
The best offense is the best okay. Well, that's like the most neutral way. Wow. Okay, I'll give you that one. You're not wrong.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That is Suijay's prerogative on the desk. He doesn't have to be right.
You're just not wrong.
But as long as he's not wrong.
Exactly.
Well, that's wise. That's wise words from Suijay.
There's a reason why he's sitting in this seat, and me and you are on the side.
There you go.
It's a very obvious. But let's get back to it. Let's go into the Vitality. Let's go into Vitality as a team first. You mentioned they have a great defense, but more importantly, this has been the team that has improved the most week to week in the Valor Series.
Yeah, they've done such a good job. Like Moon getting a mega kill. This is the play right here. He gets a mega kill. Azure engaging. Sometimes, though, they do have some opportunities where Azure engages too early and the team is not with him. And they like to play the comp in a different style. So when they had Lindis, for example, they played a dive comp, a Lindis dive comp, into a dive comp that wanted to dive the Lindis. So those are some weaknesses I see from Vitality. However, they've improved immensely in terms of team synergy and picking the right fights instead of trying to go all in all the time.
Now, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I just want to say we'll have to wait and see if there's ever a breaking point, though, right? And kind of playing that defensive game, because at a certain point, the code has to be cracked by a lot of other people.
And this is a big, interesting point to keep up as well. Remember, last week, King was not put on the starting roster. That was Flo that is back onto it. Now, King had this, we saw, everybody knows the Wonder Woman backdoor that he had in one of the earlier weeks, and the kind of playmaking potential that he has. However, adding flow, Vitality looking to create a little bit more consistency in their games.
Yeah, they definitely are, and they need to continue to work on that, and that's something that I see could be a little risky, and that's what puts them into positions where they're playing teams that are lower seed, but these games are going like 20 to 30 minutes, which shouldn't be the case. So I feel like Vitality, they have some cleanup they need to do, but they're really good at maximizing the mistakes of their opponents, which results in a lot of wins.
Well, we've talked about the good defense. Now let's talk about the good offense. For the Dream has been a team that, despite finding lots of success in the earlier stages, have stumbled quite a bit in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, Arena of Valor played support, went back to jungle carry, and then they shine. But the person I'm really excited for, not only Shirko is strong, but Grizzly Q has improved dramatically. His Alice had 17 assists in Game 2 on Wednesday. This guy is playing phenomenally and so well and setting up his team for a lot of successful engages. So I think that is a difference maker for the Dream.
Yeah, finding kind of the roles and the heroes that you really excel at, right? And then working the style around that is going to be an important thing for all the teams. And I think, like you mentioned, for the Dream, starting to figure that out for themselves as they continue to try to rise in the ranks.
Arena of Violet, Grizzly Q, Mr. Rain, Rez, and then Shirko, one that we saw perform quite well on Wednesday, but there is versatility that For the Dream has. Remember, coming into this week, they do have Simjo on the roster now, so they can decide to substitute him and out at the mid position. Shirko coming with the starting position here in Game 1.
Yeah, Shirko's Tulin. They gotta take it away from him and not give him, because his Tulin is a monster. He carries so well and he understands the limits of this hero. And I'd be interested to see if they're gonna go ahead and ban away that Tulin and maybe someone gets a Liliana and Flash. That could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we saw in Game 1, the Tulin being a high contest pick and ban. So we'll see if that trend continues for the rest of Europe.
Now, Chobra, you're 1-0, so I'm going to give you the hot seat again. This one, a little bit more difficult than the first one. Are you going to go for the good offense? Are you going to go for the good defense? What's your play here?
I'm going to go with a good offense. I'm going to go with the offense. I'm going to go For the Dream. I just think in a game like Arena of Valor, yes, you can try to drag it out with the defense, but there's a breaking point, and I'm a believer of that, so I'm going to go For the Dream.
All right.
We might be both wrong. Maybe, because Vitality is projected to be the better team historically, but I'm going with the offense too. Man, why should let him go first?
Yes. Yes.
He doesn't get very many opportunities, so I've got to give him a chance to shine.
Yeah, so I'm going to go For the Dream as well, because I feel like the way that Arena of Valor has been playing with Grizzly Q stepping it up a notch, their engages, their aggressiveness is going to pay off really, really well. However, they do make a lot of mistakes too, and that's what Vitality is really good at. If you have a really solid defense, you can capitalize on the mistakes of your opponents and turn that into a win.
Now, it's important to note, for those of you that are in Twitch chat and are looking to vote, whether it's going to be for Vitality or it's going to be For the Dream, some statistical knowledge for you. These teams have played each other twice before in week number 2 and week number 4, both semifinal matches. Vitality walked away with a 2-0 victory in week 2, a 2-1 victory in week number 4. So historically speaking, Vitality comes out on top, but these gentlemen say that it's going to be For the Dream that walks out.
Yeah.
Let us know. Now, Sweet as we get the ban phase started shortly, I do have to ask you, stats aside, why do you have For the Dream above Vitality coming into this match?
I think stats are in our favor. It's 2-0, 2-1, and it's going to be 1-2.
Oh, there you go.
Right?
I like
go
it.
In that direction.
I like it.
I think, though, like, Vitality, they're banning away Violet already, taking it away from Violet. But I feel like the way that, For the Dream has been playing, Shirko is so strong. Everyone in their position is extremely strong. Arena Violet's such a strong jungler versus Redemption. Rez, one of the best side laners. Shirko, strong mid-mates. Grizzly Q stepping it up. Probably one of the top 3 supports as well. And that's the reason why I feel like this team has grown a lot more. Even Vitality has improved. And look at the bans here. Teamy, Liliana, Finnick being banned. Wow, they're targeting Arena Violet really hard.
Yeah, just trying to get rid of one role, right? I mean, there's multiple different ways that you can go about the draft phase, but sometimes if you decide that, hey, if we can just kind of eliminate one player as a factor and we just have to worry about them, 90% less than we normally do, then maybe that throws off the entire game plan. Superman going to be the last man coming out from For the Dream, and now we're going into picks.
Not only do we have a lot of the line for both of these teams in securing points for that number 2 seed, but some extra juiciness is on the line for the Dream.
Ooh, look at that. Tulin
Explicitly because if For the Dream loses, both Nova and Royal are in striking distance to knock them out of the top 4. So something to keep in mind. Tulin being picked up, and then Omen and Wonder Woman. Omen on Mr. Rain we've seen.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal on it. And this is a good pick because if they pick Max, Omen is a good counter against that Max. However, that does leave Malik open because Zenio is banned. So Malik looking for Lubu is also a really good option here. Ryoma is also good in side lane. Or they go with for a Ryoma jungle and a Lubu side lane. And Redemption's going to go for the Murad. Wow, that is a very aggressive pick there from Side Vitality. Not a defensive pick, an aggressive pick.
Yeah, we're starting to see that get a little bit mixed up. That does leave the Ryoma open now for the side of For the Dream. Like you mentioned, that Tulin was picked up right away. The Alice locked in.
Grizzly on Alice. Yes, I'm so happy he got the Alice. And we saw Arena of Valor with the Ryoma on Wednesday. He was the guy carrying and stealing clutch Darkslayers and basically turning a losing condition into a winning condition, securing the game. So I'm really excited for Arena of Valor on this Ryoma here.
Yeah, Lumber being hovered right now. Lumber and Malik going in for a big combo, so that's something to look forward to on the side of Vitality. Of course, Max we talked about briefly being picked up. Zenio's gone, but Max versus Omen still a fair matchup. L'Oreal being hovered for that mid-mage position.
Wait, no Flash? No, I'm just kidding. They probably doesn't play the Flash.
Now, L'Oreal has been a hero that we have seen surprisingly enough fall down.
Kali!
Now,
we were just talking about Kali.
We were just talking about this. We're in the back in the broadcast room figuring out, okay, what are we wanting to see? And out of nowhere, Suijay looks at me and he goes, man, I want someone to play Kali and just go off.
He heard me.
Oh.
Thank you, Shirkle.
Now, looking at this composition that we have coming out of Vitality, a point that you made, Chobra, was both of you made that they're picking more offensive. You can see it. Tulin, Malik, Murad, Lumbar, Max. The team that is known for more of a defensive style have had now picks that can go a little bit more on that aggressive side.
Yeah, I mean, Redemption normally likes to play like a Lindis. Lindis was open for him. He didn't pick it. Opted for the Murad, actually. Maybe it's to target Arena of Violet. Maybe Arena of Violet has an amazing Murad, and they denied Finnick, right? We saw Arena of Violet play Finnick and win, play Violet. So this may be a pick against the Violet, but I'm really curious to see how Vitality is going to execute the Murad composition because it takes a lot of execution.
Yeah, it's a lot of practice, a lot of communication that's going to come through. They still have the Lumber to be able to go with a couple counter initiates, right, pretty comfortably, and that's been tried and tested throughout the time. So, you know, they have a fallback plan, I think, that keeps them in their comfort zone, but you guys are correct in that this is something a little new and different.
Yeah, I do like the Kali Alice, though, because Kali has Eternal Blame, which is a circular AoE damage. You put the Hissy Fit on top of it, and Kali just turns on her ultimate Grievance.
Ooh.
Senzo 55 rates her away, and you could just disappear.
Gentlemen, you got a little bit of a discrepancy here. You both are saying For the Dream. Twitch chat says Vitality. Game number 1 has started. They've loaded onto the battlefield, and it's time to find out who wins. Suijay, Chobra, it's your call.
All right, we're going into this game number 1. And Twitch chat, you can say what you want because I only live today on this show, and then I'm moving on to another day. So we'll see how the stats pay out for everyone. But it is Vitality versus For the Dream. Vitality statistically kind of having an edge above For the Dream, but we talked about the styles, and we'll see how those pan out. I mean, as we go, you know, kind of past that first early game and start to see a couple of those objectives, we'll see if the movement shows a hint of if Vitality has changed at all.
Yeah, exactly. And sorry, Twitch, I'll take my 90% prediction rate over you guys. So, and look at this, Rez actually losing to a Malik, and this is why Malik is really good into a tanky side laners like Wonder Woman. He does true damage. So once he lands his ability, he gets an enchanted Cleave Blade. It does true damage on his normal attack. So Wonder Woman has to disengage because it doesn't matter how much defense you build, even early game, that true damage is just too much.
Yeah, it's just going to shred you apart. And you can see Rez already at a bit of a disadvantage, has to play it a little bit safe. We're just going to hold here to see how, you know, the game plays out. Just waiting for a couple things to be sorted out here. But, you know, early on, right, Vitality, you know, do you expect them to kind of show a different style immediately, like in the first couple of objectives, or are you thinking that maybe they're still not quite used to being aggressive?
Yeah, I think if you look at their composition, they want to get Murad to level 4, and once he's level 4, you get some side lane ganks, you poke from mid lane, and that's something that Murad is extremely dangerous with, especially with how fast he also takes objectives. And Tulin with Malik are extremely strong in that early phase, so once Murad hits level 4, that's when Vitality needs to take off. If they don't abuse that and they allow, their opponents to shut down Murad's jungle, Murad can have a much difficult time.
Now, you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer till you're gonna see the Kali. I know you're excited for it. You're gonna have to wait for it just a little bit longer. Talk to me a little bit about these side lane matchups, because we've talked a lot about the supports in Europe. The support pool in Europe is subjectively much more experienced than what you see over in North America. We see a lot of the changes in these games go in the ways of the support, but seeing the matchup that we have in the side lane, Suijay, what are you most looking forward to, whether it be the Slayer or the Abyssal side?
Yeah, we see Wonder Woman and Malik on the Slayer side, the Dragon side. Wonder Woman actually could outplay a Malik. Malik is really strong, though, in that early phase, so whoever can rotate and support their side laner to get that gank. Malik does not have an escape pre-level 4. So that's their chance to really get onto him, because he can't really run away pre-level 4 without his ultimate. Omen against Max is great, because Omen is such a good counter into Max, because if Max flies away, Omen's going to take some free towers.
Yeah, of course, that pressure, right? It's not that Omen can follow, but it's the pressure of what am I going to lose if I leave my position is going to kind of loom over Ika quite a bit. We did see, a little bit of a skirmish on the bottom side right in front of the Dragon. Now the Dragon's coming up. So we'll see if both teams go for it. The Sentinel being targeted by For the Dream, and Aika just getting caught out, actually gets pulled right back in. That should be the kill. First blood goes to Arena of Valor. That does leave Vitality with a numbers advantage on the Abyssal Dragon. It's still going slow. Rez looking for a steal. Rez trying to go in, and it's going to be Grizzly Q for over the wall with the steal. So Vitality not really getting anything out of those two fights.
I knew it. Grizzly Q on this Alice. I called it, man. What a play from him. That sunshine from downtown landing and securing the Dragon. What a crazy play. How do you do that against a Murad that has a punish, that has his ultimate? He turned level 4, and you notice Redemption didn't use his punish.
Yeah.
He could have secured that Dragon if he used his punish. So that was definitely a mistake by them, underestimating the skill shotting potential of Grizzly Q.
Yeah, I think they just kind of lost track of the Alice. They were more concerned about Rez on that Wonder Woman. But like you said, you have a huge advantage when you're going in with a punish. And if you don't use it, then you're kind of back to square one on both sides. So now that gives For the Dream quite a bit of a lead early on, a little over 1K gold. And they also obviously have the kind of, we see what you talked about, Suijay, the damage going on to Redemption, the Kali going off, and this is early game. And Rez comes in, gets the lockdown, gets another kill. Flow nowhere to run, like you talked about. The escape mechanisms for Malik not that high, and that's a triple kill going down for the Dream.
Man, what an engage by Kali there. They basically, and she's so good at defense. And that narrow corridor in that jungle, that Grievance ultimate is going to hit you like a Gatling gun, and you saw Rez come in there. He missed his lasso. However, he was able to get close enough, secure the kill onto onto Murad, Redemption, and then use Braces of Submission to land a clutch 2-man stun. And then Arena Violet comes in with Ryoma, gets another stun on Malik, gets that triple kill. What a huge turn for the Dream.
Yeah, just a great fight. Like we talked about, the aggression. They just saw the opportunity and jumped on it. They said, this is the environment we're looking for. And now they're going to the enemy jungle. Gets a double stun. And Lumber not able to get the entire ultimate. Once again gets locked down. And Shirko going off on Kali's ultimate once again. Vitality has to back out. It's not worth it to try to fight in that jungle with such low health. And now they're losing a tower on the bottom side as well, and the top side. Aika now gets caught out with no tower. There are 4 people converging. For the Dream is turning up the pace like none other.
Yeah, look at that. Mr. Rain was able to take a tower when Aika was in the top lane. He couldn't even hold off Omen fast enough, and that's the power of Omen's tower push. He has his passive called Thirst. Every third attack does true damage and is able to take towers so quickly. And it's actually, he took the tower first, and then he killed Aika. That is why Omen is such a good counter into a Max there, because of his wave clear and the amount of damage he does onto objectives like towers. But you can see For the Dream there, they are the ones playing aggressive. They are the ones invading jungle. Kali did such a good job zoning out. They engage with Ryoma, and then there's no way for Vitality to counter-engage because Ryoma comes in, and Shirko comes in with the follow-up Grievance ultimate from Kali, and then they have to back up. It completely zones the enemy team out.
Yeah, there's just no chance to fight back. They tried to counter-initiate with the Lumber ult, but that was stopped multiple times with a lot of crowd control coming in. So Azure not able to help his team out. Now needs to wait for another opportunity. We do see For the Dream Just positioning around mid-tower, and that's being taken down quite quickly. Lumber using his ultimate just to draw out some time. Flow actually jumps in with the Malik ultimate, and that's going to buy them the town. Can they get the kill? The Arena Violet is able to escape, dashes on out of there. Grizzly Q should be fine. And Shirko, like you said, Sweet J, just using that ultimate whenever he can to try to buy some time, puts down some damage, get the poke down. No one should be going down on either side here. They're fairly healthy, but Flo actually gets caught out over the wall, gets locked down, and the whole team of For the Dream converges across the wall. Now this is a different story. Redemption gets chased down. Rez just being annoying on the backside. Shirko pushing them out from under the tower, and the tower goes down once again in favor of For the Dream.
Yeah, what a crazy counter engage there. Malik ulted, and they were not able to get a kill though with Flo's shock ultimate from Malik. Since Vitality could not secure the kill, For the Dream kited the fight a little bit, and it went right back in. You saw Kali drop internal blame right on top of Malik, and then everyone just collapsed onto Malik and instantly delete him. That is the type of combo and synergy that I love seeing from For the Dream. That aggressive playstyle, that counter engage. They're doing such a good job of turning around a losing fight, a losing engage, into their favor. And you can see Shirko is timing his ability and using it at the right times. You can see the shield. When Kali has Incorporal up, that's a shield that gives her additional ability power damage in addition to defense. So when that is up and she ults, her ults do much more damage. If they combine that with a Hissy Fit Alice ultimate that reduces magic target defense by 50%, that is going to be a combo to see, along with Omen's Death's Embrace, Ryoma Stun, Wonder Woman's Bracelets of Submission. That is going to be a devastating combo that if they can pull it off.
Yeah, that's a long list of things you don't want to get hit with. And now For the Dream, I mean, you can already tell they're just so much more relaxed because they have such a lead. They take yet another dragon. And while Rain's been caught out, I mean, he should be just fine against Ica and Azure. Not enough damage to take him down quickly in a 2v1. So the rest of his team on For the Dream now converging on the bottom side. They want to pressure yet another tower. Flo kind of caught under Redemption and Sataro coming in for assistance. Will it be enough? We're going to see if Shirko gets another good Grievous. Oh, there we go. Charges it up, pushes them out from under the tower. That's a lot of damage. Flo already below 50%. Nice stun follow-up from Arena of Valor. That's another tower for The Dream.
Yeah, I like how Arena of Valor plays Ryoma too. Ryoma is a 5-second hero. I mean, every 5 seconds or so, his passive comes up. It's Najinata Jutsu. It has a long-range hit along with Whirling Blade, which has a similar cooldown. So every 5 seconds, Ryoma goes in and out of fights, gets a few auto attacks off, and then just jumps away. That's exactly how you play Ryoma, and Arena Violet is playing him so well. But you can see Shirko, he's using the Grievance ultimate from Kali to zone out the enemy team on their tower. That's exactly what Kali provides like this. She zones people out of the tower and allows them to take the tower because they have to back off. They cannot take the barrage of all the raids coming out from Kali.
Yeah, we're seeing that once again. Satara gets cut out a little bit, a little dangerous, but again, For the Dream being smart enough and wise enough to say, listen, we just wanted the objective more than anything. While there are some low targets, we can do this again in a couple seconds. We can zone you out once again, time and time again, repeatedly, and Vitality clearly hasn't solved that puzzle just yet on how they kind of jump over that and initiate. And I think a big part of that is what we talked about early, Sweet J, Redemption's Murad not really being a factor anymore.
Yeah, and look at the damage coming out from Kali with Alice. And look at Rain getting a killed Ica there. Bad positioning by Max. Trying to be a little aggressive positioning on that side of the jungle.
Yeah, and the fight continues actually as Azure gets cut out once again. Rez just chasing through Relentless. Arena Violet actually turning to the side of the wall, gets a double stun. So many people low. Shirko trying to get the snipe. Not able to secure the kill. Sataro almost walks right back into it. But this should be another high ground tower here. The first one in the game for the Dream. Redemption's coming back, but a quick kill by Rez onto Sataro. And that's going to be a trade, but still gets the high ground tower. So an advantage for the Dream. Mr. Rain still hanging out, still fighting against Flo. Will back out as they've gotten an advantage on the red side for the Dream.
Yeah, what makes Shirko so good on Kali is look at the damage from that. Oh, he barely missed. Oh, he secures it. Wow. Kali does Magic Pierce on her auto attack, so she can actually take towers and help take towers because of the amount of damage coming from our attack. And Redemption is not being able to do too much on Murad. Murad is not good defensively because he needs minions. He needs jungle monsters to be able to stack and unlock his Rift passive so he can then cast Temporal Turbulence and outpoke the enemy team. And as a result, because they're on defensive, Murad's win condition is kind of shut down.
Yeah, we haven't seen that action. We haven't seen the poke in and out that we did in the first semifinal today. Coming up from Redemption, The game's not over yet, but it's definitely heavily in favor of For the Dream now with over a 10k gold lead. The kill score in their favor, of course, the towers and dragons as well. It's a clean slate for Vitality on the other side. No objective, just that one single kill. And now all the objectives are up on the map. We got the Dark Slayer, the Dragon.
Oh, he's locked in there.
And Rain's just going to back out for now, but the team's back. And Shurko going in with the damage. Lumber a little late on that knockup. Not able to save his teammate.
Yeah, did you guys see that? The Hissy Fit ultimate combined with Internal Blame, the tick of damage over time, that magic damage, just deleted the health bar of Murad. That combo, that's the second time I've seen it so far, and they did a really good job of doing it under a tower and also capturing and combining Death's Embrace with that AoE damage like that. No one can survive if they're caught in the Death's Embrace and taking the Alice Hissy Fit ultimate damage and Kali's Internal Blame. That was such a crazy and sick combo to see.
Yeah, there's not much you can do. As soon as you're in there, you're kind of just in doom. And we're going to see another dive coming out the high ground tower in mid lane. Very low. Redemption does go in with the ultimate, but way too squishy. Gets deleted as he comes out of it. And that leaves Azure with no defense. Shurko once again pushing everybody out. Flo trying to be tanky, but not succeeding in doing so. Aika gets caught out as well. And that is going to be game for the Dream.
Just like that, the desk holds their predictions true for at least game number 1. For the Dream walks away with a sub 12-minute victory over Team Vitality. And we said offense versus defense, but it looked like Vitality didn't even have any sort of defense to even create themselves.
That's why I was a little curious why they picked Murad. Murad is not really good at defense. You have to be offensive. Once you reach level 4, you need to play super offensive Murad. You need to poke mid lane, poke side lane, get some kills, and then convert that into objectives. And because Murad was not able to really scale and abuse that power spike, they fell really behind, and For the Dream just decimated. And honestly, Grizzly Q played so well in Alice.
Yeah, I mean, of course, getting that first steal, and then, like you said, really kind of enabling those combos with the Kali, the Alice-Kali combo. I mean, you wanted to see it, and your wish just came true, Sweet J. We saw it fully in Game 1. That's something they got to watch out for in Game 2.
For the Dream have had troubles in previous weeks securing themselves a lead and then closing that out to a victory. This game was, by and large, almost a polar opposite of what we've seen with their struggles. Why do you think, or what do you think the big factor for that was, Sweet J?
Yeah, honestly, what I'm looking now at this high tier, and all the teams have improved significantly, but the way that For the Dream kites the fights, honestly, Vitality had such good engages. Malik came in with the Shock Ultimate, but they were to disengage, kite the fight, and then re-engage, landing on comboing their abilities, securing some key kills. You saw the Death's Embrace combo with the Internal Blame, with the Hissy Fit. You saw Wonder Woman landing some clutch two-people ultimates. That is what changed the dynamic and landscape of a lot of these fights, because how For the Dream was playing together in these counter engages.
Yeah, and they use their environment really to their advantage, right? Every time Grievance was used, it was with no escape other than all the way back to the base for Team Vitality. So that ultimate was just in a straight line every time in the jungle, and Vitality either stayed and lost, or they had to run away and give away an objective. And that's just smart positioning as well coming out from For the Dream.
Game number 2 is going to be starting very shortly. We've got the pick ban phase now. I do have to ask the question, because this is true in Europe. Vitality in both Europe and North America have the most 3-game best of 3s than any other team in both regions, almost combined. Now, whether that shows to the stumbling that they have when they come up a lead, or the fact that they are able they're capable of downloading the data from their opponents in the previous games. Is there an opportunity for them to tie this up and send it to Game 3? And if so, what is it, Sweet J?
Yeah, I think they should definitely ban Violet. Don't give Violet Arena of Violet, or give Arena Violet.
They're almost synonymous at this point in time.
Yeah, but I think Finnick is not a priority. Finnick is not really meta in a lot of other regions. So I think they're overly emphasizing the Finnick. Maybe they want to deny the Finnick Omen matchup. So ban Omen instead then, because you saw Omen play really well with Kali and Alice. So I think that Finnick is not the target ban. You should probably ban Omen instead. So I think they need to kind of rethink, instead of target banning a specific carry, they should target banning what comps is making For the Dream so successful.
Yeah, now we are in the ban phase for the Dream. This time, just taking out the Tulin off the slate, and we're starting that ban phase. Do we expect to see Alice or Kali even kind of being contested as a ban from the side of Vitality?
Yeah, I think Alice makes a lot of sense for Vitality because honestly, Grizzly Q played so well. I mean, Alice, he's landing all these Sunshine. If you watch the team fights, you rewatch it last game, he was hitting so many Sunshine stuns. He used it to secure the Dragon. I mean, this guy is just a beast on Alice, so I think it's a smart ban or a smart takeaway for Vitality to deny it.
Yeah, all right, we are seeing the Team E banned out. Of course, the Violet, like we discussed, so no big surprises so far. I think that last ban from Vitality is going to be the curious point, as we see for the Dream, meanwhile, hovering over Zenial. Should be locked in as that third ban from their side. And here we go. What are we going to see any changes? Are we going to see any, early adaptations from the ban phase?
Suijay, I've got to ask the question.
Oh, no,
well,
Finnick.
the Finnick, again, being banned away by Vitality, and that kind of plays right into the thought for the Dream, now with Liliana available, is almost an instant lock-in for Sherko.
I have not seen actually Sherko play a lot of Liliana, so I'm really excited to see how aggressive he's going to play Liliana. But that's really risky. I would play Flash. Flash counters Liliana. Liliana wants to poke from far. Flash wants to get in your face and punch you to death with his quick punches. So they need to pick Flash into this Liliana here to counter her, because if they allow them Liliana poke, and they're giving Omen again. They're giving Omen to the side for the Dream, and they could probably pick up the Alice here as well. Let's see. Oh, they're over Max, actually.
Okay, well, they have the Omen, the Zenial's banned out, so going with the Max should... Oh, okay, it's going to be the Joker at the last second.
That's a little risky there.
Now, this Joker could still go into a side lane. We've seen Joker in Europe, as well as a couple games, Allegiance playing it over in North America on the side lane. So it does create this opportunity for a flex pick to create a little bit more of a counter direction for them based on what Vitality picks up. But meanwhile, Vitality's going to lock in Max and Thane. You talked about this last week, Suijay, wanting to see more Thane in competitive play.
Yeah, his Valiant charge is such a good engage. Also denies the Malik pick, because Thane literally hard counters Malik, so you cannot pick a Malik into a good Thane that knows what he's doing. And now they're going to go actually with a 180C side lane and Zephy's jungle, which works out because Thane can disengage. They have twos, they have knock-up, stun, Ryoma, Wonder Woman stun, so Vitality has a good shot of winning this draft here.
Raz being hovered.
Flash, go for Flash.
Flash mid lane?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Raz gets locked in, but no Flash once again.
So Raz is really good. He's a heavy engage comp, but you're gonna engage into a Zephy's and a Lumber, and that's really risky. He does a lot of damage. He has two, kind of a knock up and a knock back with his ultimate. Does a lot of AoE, but he's a very heavy execute, highly squishy hero. So you need to understand when to go in with him.
Vitality needed to show up in Game 2 with a completely different strategy. They had to find a way to catch the members of For the Dream off guard. Thane and Raz being two less picked heroes that we're seeing for this composition. Is this the winning formula you feel in Game 2, Suijay, for them to even the series?
Yes, if they execute their composition, because Thane charges in, right? Raz wants to charge in. Thane can get that knock-up that slow. Raz then follows up with another knock-up, a knock-back. Wonder Woman and Ryoma can get huge AoE stuns off, and Max can just go to the backline and hit Liliana. So I think this could work out for Vitality if they do it well.
Yeah, I think Vitality has given themselves a bit of a wider opening than they did in Game 1, right? The Murad was a little too conditional. Here, right, they can work with each other. One can set each other up. So hopefully they can execute it well, because that'd be cool to see. It'd be refreshing to see a different style come out of them, and they succeed with it.
What terrifies me, though, it's in the back of your mind. It's something you can't put aside. Snowball potential on For the Dream. If Liliana, Joker, Zephys, as well as Omen get ahead in any of their respective positions, things could be very scary for the Dream to have that favor. It's something we're going to have to wait and see. Game starting very shortly. Don't forget, head over to Twitter and use the hashtag Valor Series to let us know your predictions. You see Alice on the screen. We don't have an Alice in this game, but she's definitely been one. It's going to be a big one, guys. Is Vitality going to find a way to tie this up? Let's find out and see.
Yeah. We'll see as we go into game number 2 with, a couple fresh picks coming out from Vitality for the Dream. I mean, definitely some different heroes, but we're not really expecting anything different in terms of if they win, how are they going to win? It's going to be with that snowball and just constant charging forward with their aggression.
Yeah, and honestly, Vitality, I think they should have invaded. They have, Ryoma, who's really strong early in the jungle. You want to shut down the Zephyrs before he reaches level 4 because Zephyrs doesn't offer that much in the early phases, you know, because once he reaches level 4, his damage potential exponentially spikes because it unlocks Death from Above, his ultimate, but Death from Above has a passive called Thunder Crash, and once he lands it on a hero, he does extra ability damage on top of the attack damage that he provides with his item. So you need to win the early game against Zephyrs and not let him hit that level 4 power spike and allow him to then make plays off it.
Yeah. Vitality, just we see Azure on that thing, constantly moving about, just putting out some pressure. We'll see if the combos come through in favor. Grizzly Q this time on that Lumber instead of the Alice. We'll see if we see the same play potential coming in with a slight invade as Sotaro catches them off guard. Ika coming in. But it's a 2v3, so both sides just backing off smartly.
Yeah, and the interesting here is Sutaro is playing the Ryoma jungle here instead of Redemption, and Redemption is on the Raz instead. So he's playing a mid-mains position when he normally is the key jungler, and something that they need to keep in mind now is the rotation. Sutaro normally plays side lane, so when you have a jungler and a mid-mains that don't normally play that position, you have to watch the rotations and how you support each other.
Yeah, Sentinel being prioritized for the Dream. No one positioned for the Abyssal Dragon this early. It just spawned. We are seeing everyone kind of move down. The Redemption and Asher trying to wait for someone. It's 2v3. Nice knockback into the wall and another knock up. Two people getting very low. Arena of Valor jumps back in towards the enemy over the wall, trying to create a distraction. Successful so far. Gets out with some low health. Azure healthy enough to see if they can continue the fight, and that's a good setup from both sides.
Yeah, that was such a good engage there, but again, the rotations from For the Dream is paying off. There's 4-man rotations, 3-man rotations. They have much better synergy. It looks like the mage and the jungler is on the same page, and you see on Vitality, they're not doing that. Redemption's kind of doing his own thing in mid lane. Sutaro's just kind of farm his jungle. The jungler and the mage is critical to winning mid-map control along with their support, and they're completely losing mid-map control. Shurko is just dominating on Liliana. Now Liliana, level 4, is huge. That gives her so much more flexibility and mobility, because that's where you want to shut down Liliana, is before she turns level 4, she has no mobility, she's easily ganked, and because they did not do anything to pressure Liliana, they're going to allow her to scale into her mid to late game power spike now.
Yeah, even during that first Dragon, we saw Shurko being comfortable kind of zoning out the rest of the enemy team, and a good collapse onto Ika, and we're going to see another kill, or the first kill rather, come out for the Dream. A good gank. They started with the 1v1 and they collapsed. I mean, Suije, you mentioned it. It's the rotations, right? It's the awareness from For the Dream. They're always ready for that next fight.
Yeah, they are. And look at that. Flo use the ultimate, and they get a kill on Mr. Rain. So really good job from Vitality here, but they need to convert that into a tower. But there's no wave coming, unfortunately.
Uh-oh, Grizzly Q's just behind enemy lines. Now comes in. They're not going to expect the Lumber from their own jungle, but they're safe under the tower, so Vitality will back out. Redemption this time. They're for the backup. Good rotation starting to come out from Vitality as well.
Yeah, and look at the poke coming from Dan. This will make Raz so irritating to play against. Once he's full level, his power surge punch there, energy surge that he launches out, is less than 2-second cooldown. So he can constantly just hit you from afar and slow you, and then allow the team to then combo off that. And that's how Vitality needs to play. They need to leverage these slows, this Ryoma stun that they have, to lock down a target and CC them, because that's exactly how they need to engage, so that they don't give For the Dream a chance to counter-engage.
Yeah, and we're right now seeing both teams kind of focus on different areas of the map. Both of them not able to make anything out of it, though, so we're just going to see an attempt at that steal for the buff. Arena Violet comes out with it, and the Dragon spawns just in time. Are they in position, though? They're all here, 4 people, but Joker actually back under the tower trying to clear out some minions, so Vitality has time to set up. They're a little split, but in good position to start a fight. Flo gets caught out, but a nice 3-man stun to turn the fight around. That zones out the entire team of For the Dream. Dragon resets in the meantime, so no one's going for that objective yet. Grizzly Q gets only 1 knockup with his ultimate on Lumber. Sutari gets caught out with another stun. Shurko, low mana, has to come right back out. Arena Violet trying to chase through. Both sides backing out. Who's going to stick around longer to try to secure this Dragon? It's going to be For the Dream.
Man, Shurko played that Liliana so well. out-poking and outplaying the Wonder Woman of all people, very tanky. And then the Ryoma landing the Binding Light, Shining Light combos there, doing so much burst damage, so much stun, and then transforming to Fox form, jumping in, jumping out, doing the burst that he needs to, and getting out. Shirko is playing this Liana really well and avoid being caught out as well. He's playing aggressive and not getting caught out, so that's a really good thing for the Dream.
Yeah, you can tell the awareness on those cooldowns is really coming through for Shirko. And now we're seeing For the Dream start to get a little bit more aggressive, right? They're starting to see how much they can push that limit around the jungle, while we do have still towers up on all sides. And we'll see if For the Dream kind of finds another window. They did get the 2 first dragons, so they have a bit of a lead, but, you know, not massive. It's just 2K, just about what you'd expect with that kind of objective control.
Yeah, and you can see here that For the Dream just has more map in that control. Look at the collapse.
Gank, and that's 3v2 all of a sudden, but Ica staying just long enough, still alive, but Sotaro was kept at the edge, can't get the stuns, and that gave Shirko time to come through. Are they going to go for another dive? Azure with a nice knockup to stop that aggression. Redemption comes in. Oh, went the wrong way, though. That's not the entrance you want. Now has to back out with a quarter of health. And Rez going for the poke. They want to try to get this tower for the Dream. They want to get Vitality out of there. But meanwhile, they'll just take the easier Spirit Sentinel to secure some extra gold.
Yeah, again, the mid-map control For the Dream. They're able to rotate through River and collapse onto and engage. They actually counter-engage again. Vitality had that 2v1, however, For the Dream was right behind, supporting their top laner, so Mr. Rain was not left alone, and as a result, they won that trade, and look at this invade!
And Sutara going low, but not the target for Liliana. Grizzly Q able to follow up with the Arena of Valor. Shirko, like we talked about, jumps in, tries to get another kill, jumps back out, waiting for those cooldowns, but Ika is not having any of it. Jumps in 1v2, 2 people are low. Redemption, meanwhile, tries to go for another kill. Now, are they going to regroup? Vitality coming in, Mr. Rain's good health, but Flow actually really low. Wonder Woman can't do much right now. Maybe can get some crowd control. Shirko with a nice pickup onto Azure, and now Vitality. Ika's caught out a little too far out. That's another one, a double going over to Shirko's Liliana.
Vitality actually did pretty well there. They were able to bait Arena of Valor. Arena of Valor went under tower, got killed, got CC'd by Raz and Thane, and they could have turned that fight around, but they were not coordinated enough. They were kind of getting picked off one by one, and Shirko is just doing so much work on this Liliana. He's constantly not getting focused. He's kiting them, and he's bursting them down, and because they can't get to this Liliana, you know, Shirko is able to do rain so much damage from behind.
Yeah, 3-0-1 on the scoreboard, and really just taking his time, not even having to do the most ideal of combos, just pacing himself out with his resources and his abilities. Another dragon up, another dragon attempt for the Dream. They are just going to back out this time. They saw the rotations, and they said, all right, let's push out the mid lane. They already got that tower, so they can give themselves a little bit more room, reset, and see what opportunities arise as we see Wonder Woman on the side for Vitality, just hanging out behind. Shirko might get cut out 2v1. Actually barely dodges a knockup, but gets slammed against the wall. Grizzly Q coming in for the save. A 3-man knockup against the wall. Mr. Rain does lock down Ica, but that's right under the tower, so we are going to see For the Dream kind of take their time. A nice pickup again by Shirko right at the edges, and now with the confidence jumps back in, gets the tower. There's another kill up for grabs, but Redemption finally cleans up Shirko and backs out. Azure kind of left to die, still tanky enough, but will go down to Grizzly Q. Redemption just happy with the 1 kill, backing out. Flow comes in, full up, nice lasso, but doesn't get the stun. So Violet takes the opportunity to jump back in. Sotaro goes down, and Flow costing his team with a bit of an own team fake.
Yeah, he missed that. He ulted up instead of the direction he wanted to ult and land that stun. And as a result, they lost that engage. And look at the slows and the CC.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Just gets dragged in, and while it's taking a little bit of time, should be the kill. Raz picks it up on that Joker. And For the Dream, once again coming out on that fight.
Yeah, that Death Embrace just trapped Wonder Woman in there. But looking at the last fight, Shirko was so smart. He went into the bush knowing they were there on Fox form, did his damage, took a lot of damage, but then he teleported out or used his Fox transformation to get out as human form. And when you teleport like that, whoever stands on top of that portal, it slows and does burst damage. So the way that he's playing Liliana and Kit is amazing, keeping his position and getting a kill from behind.
Yeah, Azure trying to come in, but still the Dragon's going to go to For the Dream. Violet able to pick it up. Rez gets a nice snipe onto the Thane. And we have the Joker picking up another kill once again. And Shirko now just going to back out All of For the Dream just taking a quiet pace once again. They get the dragon. They get another kill. 3 dragons to none in favor of For the Dream. And now we're starting to see that gold difference grow just a tad bit.
Yeah, and what I'm seeing, there's 2 big things here. For the Dream is comboing their abilities really well. They are rotating and moving better as a unit. Their movements are tighter, and as a result, they're able to land these combo CCs and sequence them. On the side, Vitality, then, they need to do the same. You know, they need to engage better because they have a lot of good combos they can do, and if they don't execute these combos and work together as a team and engage at the same time instead of 1 by 1, then I don't see them coming back from this game and winning any key fights.
Yeah, we saw the kind of gold differential happening there. Oh, you know, it's just a gradual increase, and you saw the key timings for the objectives being taken out with those monsters in the river. So For the Dream still has the advantage, but listen, we saw some good highlights, right, coming out from Vitality. They're starting to get some pickups they need. They just need to be the one who can start the fight and keep up that momentum. For the Dream, going for another invade. Rain actually jumps all the way deep, 1v3, but Redemption coming in with the burst. Rain gets out just in time. They not able to put down that damage, and this time we're going to see another tower go down as Joker comes through, and now all 5 members of For the Dream trying to join back up. Shirko gets slammed back, but that gives him the distance he wants to start poking. He's just putting out damage, looking for a chance to jump back in his Fox form. Not going to get it, so they smartly back out. Oh,
wow, look at that. Yeah, dodge the lasso. And you saw what For the Dream did. They saw Shirko being targeted by Ika. Ika casted liftoff on Max. It then targeted Shirko. And as soon as Shirko was targeted, the entire team collapsed onto Shirko and protected him when the Max flew in. And as a result, Ika had to back off immediately. He was taking way too much damage, and he could not take care of Liliana back end. And that's how you protect the Liliana. And that was a win condition for Vitality. They need to engage and let Max come to the back line to zone Shirko out and kill Shirko. Because if they don't do this and they allow Shirko to survive in these fights, he's gonna be doing too much damage from the back line.
Yeah. Once again, another invade coming up from For the Dream. They're just going to play it safe. Ika's just hanging out. There's a lot of poke coming up from Rez. Rez is caught out just a bit, gets pushed back towards the lane, is separated, but just going to back out. Grizzly Q able to provide that distraction. Now Shirko's here, takes a little bit of burst damage, has to be aware of his positioning. Shirko looking for the burst damage, trying to find an opportunity, jumps in his Foxtrot, gets all the damage down. Ika's so low, and Shirko now in the back line, going for the burst, separating the entire team of Team Vitality. Azure gets stunned again, but barely survives as he dashes through behind his own tower.
Yeah, what a way to fight. For the Dream, instead of going towards, Shirko landed a huge 2-person Binding Light stun. But instead of going in the direction of Thane, they went to the left and focused down who was out of position on Vitality. And as a result, they missed. Thane did not land his Excalibur ultimate, which does so much AoE damage. He actually missed a lot of it because of how For the Dream disengage and focus on the person that's out of position. So they're moving and fighting as a unit is really paying off.
Yeah, we're seeing Azure not able to get the key moments that we wanted to see from Thane. Some good attempts, but not really executing as perfectly as one. And now this time getting cut out just a bit. Another knock of Azure just gets locked down for a full 3 seconds by all the abilities on the side of For the Dream. Ika going low as well. And For the Dream now just says, all right, we bat them up against their base. We're going to go take yet another tower. And that gives them a total of 5 if they can secure this one on the top side.
Yeah, they got to be careful. They're behind levels. Thane, you're Azure, you're level 11. You cannot frontline and tank as much. You have to back up. You know Thane is such a good tank, but you need to back up. Look at this engage here. Rez gets a kill.
Jumps in and gets the tower and another kill. That's 4 people down. For the Dream, it has nothing to be afraid of. Flow just trying to drag it out as long as they can, but the entire team of For the Dream collapses. They'll finish off that kill on Wonder Woman, and instantly along with the core, that's another win for the Dream.
In the quarterfinals, For the Dream went lucid dreaming in control of their own destiny. Now they have leveled up onto the astral plane as they walk away with a 2-0 victory over Team Vitality. Game 1, Game 2, both decisive, but more importantly, it was For the Dream in control every step of the way.
They had so much control, and they played so well that Shirko actually didn't use or had to resort to using his Endure to survive a lot of fights. He was able to just jump around, and the way they're rotating, again, that movement as a team, as a unit, collapsing and counter-engaging when Vitality had a 2v1 in top lane, and then For the Dream rotating up, it really turned around so many key things for the Dream.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the scores, and we're kind of seeing how that all panned out. Obviously, 5-1 and 6 for Sherko, putting out a lot of damage, 34% for the team. But also, Grizzly Q kind of just being there all the time, 100% participation for the Dream.
He was MVP on Wednesday for a reason, and again, he's already in contention again for the MVP. And like I said, Grizzly Q has developed so much. I mean, he's probably the most improved support. Not that he was bad before. He just improved at such a high level and high caliber of play that I'm noticing how many skill shots he's landing. It's just so impressive and so fun to watch.
The team fighting of For the Dream has been improving from week to week. Despite the stumbles that they've had, we can see a direct correlation to the success that they're finding in these games when their team fighting is on point. You take a look at Rez, you take a look at Sherko, you had 27% and 39% damage done to heroes. So when your carries are doing damage to the right places, your team's going to come out ahead.
Yeah, I got to say, Will, with that prediction on For the Dream.
Heck yeah.
Offense beats defense. so we went against stats, but we knew that For the Dream, with how well they were performing recently, that this would be in their favor. And it was a decisive 2-0. I thought it would go to a 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, we got a little scared, especially with the new picks as well, and kind of the changes we thought we were going to see from Vitality. But like you said, I think, if anything, For the Dream was even better prepared for that. And they said, all right, if they want to try to change the strategy up, we're going to end the game really early, so there's not a single window for Vitality to crawl back into.
Well, we do have one Telestrator segment that I know Suijay's pretty excited to see, and it revolves around someone that we have seen perform every single week through the first 5 weeks here. I can't say the first 5 weeks. We're in week 5 of 6. There's only 1 week left. Sherko on For the Dream. Talk me through this play.
Yeah, I love how he plays Liliana here. The key is, like, you want to engage with Fox form, and he knows they're both in there. He goes in with Fox form, and you see that he gets CC, but he's going to jump out here. And look at the damage. You see the damage coming out from the teleport, and look at the positioning. He's standing back here and just waiting for his position to come out, and he's going to land a really clutch kill on Ika there. Wow, look at the skill shotting. And this happens over and over again. He goes in at the right time, then he comes out. He just knows when to position and how to play Liliana, and as a result, he's able to carry really well with her. It's just really impressive to see how aggressive, and the reason why Liliana is banned so often here.
Liliana not only has been a staple point hero both in the pick ban phase, but more importantly, when we do get to see her on the battlefield, it's always in the hands of some of the most capable mid laners. We've seen Poseidon perform. We've seen Sherko now perform. Is this going to be something that teams are going to continue to keep off the table, or are teams with now side laners and other members of the Flash coming out that we're going to start to see here maybe fall off the ban list but back into the pick world?
Yeah, I think Flash is a really good counter into Liliana. Even though she's Fox form and wants to go in, Flash outpokes her. Flash can literally do super speed, get in there, punch her in the face real quick, and just fly black out and dodge a lot of her abilities because he's literally the Flash. So that's how you can play against Liliana. But the way that Sherko will play Liliana, engaging with Fox form first instead of poking, and then jumping out and then using the poke after, is another playstyle that I've seen a lot of successful high-tier Liliana players play, and it's really enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, starting as an assassin and then continuing to output damage and support. Obviously, a little bit of crowd control coming in as well. It's going to be interesting, especially for a hero like Liliana that has so much versatility, how that continues to evolve as the meta changes.
And not only is it how the hero evolves, but it's who in the hands is she in, and in this specific instance, it was the MVP that performed on her unbelievably well. Sherko, we talked about him all series, and what better individual to get that MVP for week 5?
Yeah, he played her so well, and I gotta give an honorary MVP to Grizzly Q. I mean, he had 100% participation. MVP again when on Wednesday he was just carrying the team as Alice, and I'm super impressed with how he played as Lumber as well. But Sherko really shined on his mage play today.
Now, with Vitality losing this semifinal match, they're still in the Valor Series for week number 6. Spots 2, 3, and 4, because they were at 2 coming into this week. Now they're sitting at now they're going to be sitting at number 3 with For the Dream taking that spot. Chorba, do you see any spots of life for them to potentially come back and get back into that number 2 spot for week 6?
I mean, I think, you know, it's a big question of how much do they want to risk for the sake of improvement, right? Because it is the last week, and if you're really desperate for that, maybe you just go back to being super defensive, right? Just really turtling down because you've seen that work. However, if you're also saying, listen, let's take a bit of a risk because we're not only looking at next week, we're not only looking at this season, we want to continue to improve and grow as a team, then I think what we saw today was the right direction and right attempts. We just didn't see it executed properly. So that's a team discussion they're going to have on, is it short-term goals or long-term goals that we want to prioritize?
Sweet does King get put back in the roster for week number 6? Was Flow a week of enough link to warrant substituting King back in? Because we've seen Vitality get themselves to the finals, and have success with King on the roster. Is that the X factor?
I think it's a very valid point. Flo is a great player, but he missed some skill shots on Wonder Woman that King would not. King carried on Wonder Woman. He's the one that literally did the backdoor on Wonder Woman. This guy is just a monster on Wonder Woman. I feel like, Flo didn't play as well today on Wonder Woman. Doesn't mean he's a bad player, but I feel like in certain matchups, you want to put in King because of the comp that you want to run. And I think it makes a lot of sense to sub in certain players given the compositions you want to face.
Well, they're going to have to wait until Wednesday to figure that out, because the second semifinal goes into the hands of For the Dream, creating the rematch. We haven't seen Team Newb and For the Dream play each other in quite a while. Despite For the Dream coming out 2-0, it's something we're going to have to worry about. Now, we've also had the relegations that happened below this. Team Queso finds themselves with a 2-0 victory. While they aren't in contention for top 4, spots 6 through 8 are still wide open for both of these teams. Now, before we get into the finals match shortly, are there any preliminary thoughts, gentlemen, that you have to say about this matchup now, seeing these teams play already today?
I have to really think about who is going to take it away, because For the Dream is playing so well, and I think it's going to go to best of 3. I know that at least.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I think best of 3 is what we're going to see, because the way and how clean For the Dream was playing, that has to catch Team Newb off guard and kind of put them at a disadvantage at least one game. How that game 3 pans out, we'll talk about after game 2.
Chobra, you're on the desk for the second time of the Valor Series. I was expecting a little bit more... I don't know, a little bit more. Take the gloves off and fight with this guy a little bit. But it seems like you guys are seeing pretty eye to eye here.
Listen, I mean, geniuses just kind of converge together. We all meet at the same places. You can't disagree with each other for the sake of disagreeing. What's right is right. The truth is the truth, and you must follow it, Bill.
Hey, I'm following this guy. He predicted everything first, and I'm just taking his lead. I can't argue with him.
I'm just gonna shake my head and continue to move on. Remember, every single one of these matches we have uploaded onto YouTube, so if you missed any of them from weeks 1 through 4, or maybe you just want to watch something again, maybe the beautiful face of Chobra you want to see again on week 2, make sure you head on over to youtube.com/Valor Series, so that way you can find the highlights, all of the updated VODs, as well as some exclusive content only seen in the Arena of Valor professional scene. But with that, we're going to take ourselves a quick break, but before we get into that break, we're going to go ahead and catch up with another one of our Caster School contestants, D2.
Hello, I am Daniel Ikuta, aka D2, and this is my Arena of Valor Caster School introduction video. So, I grew up in Southern California, where I played tennis and cello and StarCraft. Fast forward to 2010 in Japan, where I still live today, and I was all over the release of StarCraft 2, which led me to come across the GSL and watch it pretty religiously. Then in 2013, a bunch of StarCraft 2 streamers started streaming the Hearthstone beta, and I immediately got hooked, dedicated myself to becoming a pro, and went to the World Championships in 2014. In 2015, unfortunately, I got a bit burned out playing Hearthstone, but decided to redirect my energy into casting, getting selected in Blizzard's casting contest in 2016 and casting at the Winter, Summer, and Last Call Hearthstone Championship Tour events, among other major tournaments that year. Toward the end of 2017, I was hired by Samurai Gamers, where I helped turn around the English version of the website by focusing on one game, Arena of Valor. We put a lot of work into analyzing different parts of the game, things like specific ability mechanics, what does nearby mean for certain items, researching the cost efficiency of arcana and items, and all kinds of good stuff. I think that's one of the main reasons we're probably the highest regarded AoV website out there right now. In Hearthstone, though I did a lot of play-by-play as well as hosting, color commentary was my specialty because I was a former player, and it was pretty exciting to analyze certain turns and figure out all the potential plays given the state of the game. I think I can bring that same analytical style to Arena of Valor using the knowledge I've gained from the in-depth analysis I performed and the fact that I've achieved Master Rank. Speaking of which, I'm hosting that Caster School can teach me to apply and enhance my style of casting to a MOBA, which I've had admittedly little experience with. I found the cadence to be a bit different when casting Arena of Valor versus Hearthstone, but hopefully that's something I can get used to. Well, that's my introduction. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you'll support me in Caster School. See ya.
Welcome to the Hero Spotlight for Lindis, the Sentinel. Lindis is a powerful marksman who excels in bursting down her enemies. Although she doesn't have any dash ability, her mobility will get boosted while she's passing through the brush. Lindis's second ability, Entrapment, can help her reveal enemies who are trying to sneak attack. Want to assassinate Lindis? Not so easy. Passive, Tread Softly. When Lindis passes through the brush, she will increase her movement speed and strengthen her next normal attack for a short period of time. The strengthened attack will fire 2 arrows with each arrow dealing physical damage, 4-second cooldown. As a good Lindis player, you should make the most of the benefits from fighting in the brush. Use the extra mobility and damage as an edge to prevail in battles. The same works for clearing monsters. The extra speed and damage can make it much more efficient, letting Lindis to grow faster in the early game. First ability, Piercing Gaze. Lindis illuminates the area around her and reveals the location of nearby enemy heroes for 5 seconds. This ability can be stored 2 times. After learning this ability, when Lindis hits the same enemy 3 times, the target will suffer an additional physical damage. Piercing Gaze can be used to discover enemy heroes in stealth mode, such as Batman. When entering unknown territory, Lindis can release Piercing Gaze in advance to view her surroundings to avoid a possible gank from the enemy. Second ability, Entrapment. Lindis sets a trap that lasts for 2 minutes. The trap will slow enemy movement speed by 30%, reveal enemy locations, and after a short while, deal physical damage. Lindis can store and set up to 2 traps. Traps will become invisible 2 seconds after being set. While landing, Lindis can cast Entrapment into the river and brush. This will give her better vision and can discover enemies' attack in advance. Ultimate Lunar Champion. Lindis calls forth a spirit to attack enemies, dealing physical damage and adding any bonus normal attack effects from equipped items or buffs. She can store this ability up to 5 times. The ultimate is Lindis's main ability to deal damage. Since it can also trigger a critical hit, here we recommend to equip items that can boost critical chance to help maximize the Lunar Champion's damage output. When playing Lindis, here are some things to remember. 1. Lindis has many ways to combo skills together. One of the common combo is to use the first ability, Piercing Gaze, to reveal opponent's position. Follow it up by second ability, lay entrapment right underneath enemy target, then use the ultimate, Lunar Champion, and normal attacks to finish off the enemy. Combo sequence is 1 + 2 + A + ultimate. Don't panic when enemy is attacking. Lindis can first run into brush, then lay second ability underneath enemy to slow him. This will lead Lindis to a successful escape. 2. Lindis's first ability, Piercing, can deal extra damage when hitting the same target twice. Thus, try not to change the target while Piercing is activated. 3. Lindis doesn't have any dash ability. She can easily get killed by warrior or assassin. Thus, it's better to take Flicker as Summoner's talent, which can boost her mobility and help her survive longer in the game. 4. Lindis can use normal attack to kite enemy while moving, especially after obtaining Might Golem. Then she can use her ultimate to cancel normal attack's ending move, save a bit more time, and follow it up with normal attack again. Thanks for watching today's Hero Spotlight on Lindis. See you on the battlefield.
It's been 4 weeks since Team Newb and For the Dream have played each other in the Valor Series, but alas, week number 5 warrants the rematch. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Intel Esports Arena, where we have the Valor Series presented by AT&T, the finals of Europe for week number 5. My name is Jump, as always, Suijay, and
Not as always.
Mr. Chobra. Now, we've seen both of these teams having played each other, or having played earlier today, Team Newb and For the Dream. What are we thinking?
I think this is going to be a very, very close and fun matchup to watch. Going to go all the way best of 3 because the way the For the Dream is playing, Sherko, Arena of Valor, Grizzly Q, just hard carrying. I mean, everyone on the team, Rez as well, they are a team to really think about, and I think Team Newb needs to take it seriously.
You know, Bill, you wanted some spice. I'm going to give you some spice.
All right.
If For the Dream wins the first game, they're winning 2-0. However, if Team Newb wins the first game, it's going 2-1 in favor of Team Newb.
I like it.
There you go.
I love it.
There you go.
And I'm ready to see more of it. But let's go ahead and break down into these rosters and these teams. Team Newb up front first. Suijay, in the last, it was offense versus defense. One word to describe this team. What is it?
Yeah, flexibility. I mean, they can adapt and counter For the Dream's rotations and aggressive, and they play, just as aggressive. However, they have Coco and Vex playing, and Coco and Vex are both kind of junglers, so this could change up the dynamic slightly. But look at the way that both teams play. They both know how to kite the fight. They know the limits of their heroes. Poseidon is just as good, if not better, on Liliana than Sherko is. So it's a very equal matchup talent-wise. I mean, both players, both mages can make plays, and both side laners can make plays. The junglers as well can make plays. So I feel like this is going to be a game of who is going to be more aggressive and who can be more decisive in these fights to win these engages.
Is there anyone that can't make plays on this team?
No.
That's the answer.
All right, let's look at their opponent. For the Dream. Chobra, you're going to get the first word on this one because the bold prediction, if they win game 1, they'll win game 2. What is it that For the Dream has at their disposal going up against Team Newb?
Well, we talked about it in their previous match. Obviously, they're an offensive team. They're aggressive. But I think with how cleanly they played the first match, their semifinal today, if they keep up that momentum and they can defeat Team Newb in a fairly short time in that game 1, that gives them the advantage that Newb doesn't have a lot of opportunity to work around that and adapt. While Newb is known for their flexibility, I think timing's going to be the important one. If For the Dream wraps up that first game quickly, they jump right into game 2 and just carry by momentum more than anything.
Contested picks, something that over the first 4 weeks of the Valor Series, we didn't highlight as much. It was more of comfort for the players themselves. But as we get deeper and players start to show their finesse, they start to show their prowess on specific heroes, it's something that we cannot overlook. The mid lane matchup is going to be extremely important for this game, I feel. Poseidon versus Sherko, both can play Tulin, both can play Liliana. We saw a flash come out of Poseidon in the last series. Anything else that we're thinking of, Suijay, for these two players?
Well, we didn't know Arena of Valor can play Zephyrs at such a high proficiency. I mean, his Zephyrs plays was amazing. He landed a lot of clutch death from above. He knew when to go in, except for one time he got killed under 2 towers. But other than that, his Zephyrs play was great. And I feel like this is someone that they're going to try to target ban, but I don't think you can. It's like he's like kind of like a Vex. Vex, you cannot target ban. This guy can play Necroth. He can play anything. So I think when it comes to contention, is more down to the support. So it's be 0-9 versus
point.
Grizzly Q.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of that contention on the supports coming through. Obviously, Alice taking a lot of that spotlight for a lot of different teams, but of course, these two teams as well. For me, the big question is if the Flash is even on the table for a ban coming up For the Dream, just because we saw it in the semifinal earlier today for Team Newb.
And it begs the question, when, where, or even if does that Flash get taken off the table? Because For the Dream is going to be on the red side, wasting a ban on red side for Flash opens up the doors for extremely powerful picks for that 1 slot blue side here for Team Newb. Now, Chobra, I'll switch it up in North America, and I'll let you go second. But considering the fact that you're now 2-0 for your predictions, your prediction for this match, Team Newb, For the Dream, who's going to win?
I can't stick with my conditional. I have to choose.
He has conditional, yeah.
I don't think our statistician in the back will like that for your win-loss record. So you're gonna have to go with one or the other here.
I'll go for the dream.
Oh man,
Wait, what?
I'm gonna bet against him.
Okay.
Were you gonna choose For the Dream?
I like to bet on momentum, so that's why.
No way.
And the way that For the Dream's playing, the momentum they're having is really good. But honestly, Vex is playing. He's a crowd favorite. I think that Team Newb is just unfallible right now. They don't have a lot of kinks in their armor. So I think Team Newb is gonna take this, but they're gonna struggle to take it.
Do you want to trade answers? Do you want to go for the dream? I'll go with Team New. I'm giving you one chance.
I think I'm gonna switch. We're gonna trade.
All right.
Because
Team Newb it is.
Is this even legal? I don't know if this is legal.
Hear me out. For the Dream wants it more. They gotta win this. They have to win this to secure their number 2 seed, and that's what they want.
Exactly.
So I feel like they want this more. Team News, it's comfortable. They're in a good spot.
Yeah.
They're gonna get seed 1. They're not gonna worry. So I think that For the Dream is gonna want it more. I think they're gonna fight for it.
I
So,
feel like
my bet's on For the Dream.
I feel like if For the Dream wins, you're never gonna hear the end of this because he's gonna be so angry.
Last time,
listen,
I bet.
Team New's gonna win. Like I just know it. I knew it all along. Team New's gonna win.
Oh my
the
God.
reverse psychology.
Last time I bet on For the Dream and they lost. So you need to make up for me, Arena of Valor. Make it up, man. Make it up.
Twitch chat, we've got a split desk. What about you? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Vote now if you're in Twitch chat. Team Newb For the Dream. We've got a 50-50 split. Thankfully, my vote doesn't count. Now, you guys are going to be the ones to break it off. The ban phase has started. Remember, Team Newb as the higher seed gets blue side first. For the Dream having the red, having blue side for game 2. Omen immediately banned away by Newb.
What a smart ban, because again, Omen was a key part of their composition. Mr. Rain just played Omen so well. They comboed Omen with Kali, with Finnick, as we've seen from last week or previous games. So that's a very smart targeted ban by Team Newb here. They definitely did their homework.
Yeah, we are going to see the Wonder Woman being banned out too. So a lot of those contention picks we talked about, the mages, the supports, all left open for now. Only 3 total bans left. We'll see. I think the ball is in For the Dream's court, and they're going to just continue on the same trend. They're
Side laners. Look at that. 4 dominant side laners. Malik open, Zenio open. Are they going to continue this side laner ban? Or they're going to go for like a Teamy ban and switch it up, a Liliana ban. Maybe they might just leave Liliana and Flash open because Liliana can be countered by a Flash. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and ban this Teamy here as predicted, but are they going to ban Liliana? Batman? Zephyrs?
You talk about the fact that Flash is innately a counter to Liliana, but do you feel that either one of these mid laners, Shurko or Poseidon, have had enough experience playing this hero to be able to play around? Because yes, while they might be a counter, when you have someone that's so mechanically proficient on something like a Liliana on both sides of the battlefield, does that raise that question?
Yeah, it does. I mean, maybe they didn't play against each other at a high skill tier level at this caliber of Liliana into a Flash, and both mages are kind of equal in skill for the most part. So it could be a little risky. However, you can see that Zenio is being prioritized. Malik needs to be picked up here because he's so strong in the side lane. There's also Lubu, who's open, who's very strong. So they want to secure these key side laners because you can see the ban pattern. They have secured and banned a lot of the side laners. So Malik, Lubu, boom, taken. Now this leaves Lumber as the next option. Alice is really good pick here as well. The support play will come down here because so many junglers are open.
If you're Team Newb, do you continue to... I say that it's getting hover, but the question would have still remained. Do you hold on to not picking that mid laner and potentially force the Liliana for the Dream to allow for that Flash counter pick?
I mean, I think what we saw in the first match, I was wondering the same question, right? Do you just leave the mages to the very end? But the dominance that Poseidon had on Liliana, I think is something that he wants to keep for himself and not even kind of risk that option. I think this tells us that they're kind of relying on Poseidon to carry the game once again through that Liliana, as we see Tulin being the next pickup for the mage and the Lumber.
Oh, I like this so far. Yeah, look at the amount of CC, Lumber, Malik, Tulin.
Jeez.
And Rez, Grizzly Q's Lumber was phenomenal last game. They're going to go with Murad here. This gives him a very weak early game. Crash is not that strong. And actually, Nakaroth is going to come back with Vex on the Nakaroth. And 0-7 playing a Yorn. That is a very risky composition. They're actually really weak early. Tulin is going to shut down Liliana in the early game. And then Arena of Valor on Violet. Wow, the draft for the team looks really good. I'm glad I switched.
I not. I mean, this seems almost like a dream team for the Dream, right? They're having the picks that they're comfortable with. They're having really strong picks and also ones that combo well together. On the side of Team Newb, some new ones, some returning picks, but not the most common, predictable ones per se.
The question mark for me is this Crest pick. Crest has been a pick that in the first 2 weeks was a very solid pocket pick as some kind of anti-CC that teams have had just to provide a little bit more of a front line. Looking at what For the Dream has drafted, does this Crest pick make sense, and does it fit well with the Team Newb composition?
Yeah, it's a kind of it could work, but Crash isn't the strongest of side laners. I mean, Max was open. Max would have been a really good pick as well. You could have picked Kilgroth. Kilgroth was very strong and banned actually on Wednesday in EU. Crash needs to scale. He needs to get to level 4, and once he's level 4, he is extremely strong with his ultimate. So it's a very interesting pick that I want to see how Team Newb is going to make it work.
Oh, buddy, 89% Team Newb.
Twitch chat, you were wrong last time. You're going to be wrong again this time. It's okay.
The animosity has already started, but the game is going to be starting as well. We will find out our Week 5 victor at the end of this series. Game number 1, Team Newb versus For the Dream.
Yep, this is the final for Week 5. So, we say Team Newb, of course, they're sitting really comfortable with their points overall, but still, there's a lot to be said about just keeping up the wins and the win streak and the records as Grizzly Q goes very aggressive over the wall and just trying to keep an eye on the entirety of Team Newb. So we're going to start with a little bit of invade from For the Dream, and Team Newb is going to react on the top side as well.
Yeah, this is exactly what they want to do. They have Lumber, they have Malik, and they have such a much stronger early game, and Tulin as well. And let's see here if Shurko's going to try to see this, and no, they're going to trade jungles, and that's exactly what Team Newb needs to do, because Nakroth, the reason why he's so good and dangerous is because he can run around and steal jungle all he wants. And Rez tries to get the steal there, but fails the jump, unfortunately. It does not get the steal. And look at the rotation coming from For the Dream here.
Yeah, For the Dream just kind of going through middle. They're doing it systematically, right? They know that their side was also invaded, so they say, all right, let's see if we can get a gank in mid. If not, let's reset, and it's going to be that 3-man roam once again. Mr. Rain, Shurko, and Grizzly Q. As Shurko just kind of coming in from the mid lane to get some assistance for each other. Violet comes in and picks up the buff. They do need Violet to kind of take that time to build up, similar to how we talked about Crash really needing some time to build up strength as well.
Yeah, what a perfect rotation there. They actually got Violet's rotation speed ahead, and Rain then rotates back to catch his wave. However, they do give up a Vision Seagull to Team Newb, which is going to basically give 0-7 a level lead eventually. He'll turn level 4 first. However, look at the rotation coming from For the Dream. They're going to secure the Spirit Sentinel, which is huge, and puts them more in the gold lead.
Yeah, and they should have the time here to go back to the Dragon as well. It's just getting started by the Crash, and there's 4 people from Team Newb, but For the Dream, they're here in time, only half health for the Abyssal Dragon. They're just jumping right in before the Dragon goes down. The Dragon now left alone, and that's going to be secured by Arena of Violet. The fight may be continuing. Rain just gets that shock off, but not enough to secure a kill. They're just going to chase out Team Newb all the way. Poor Crash having to run the long way around. Poseidon also being cut off. The poke continues to come in,
and look
For the Dream.
Look at that 5-man rotation. They made sure they shut down the jungle. And that's exactly how you counterplay against a Nakroth. Nakroth wants to run around your jungle. He has so many gap closers that he can just jump around and dance in your jungle to steal it. But since they're shutting down his jungle, they're now forcing him to be starved. And as a result, he's got to, in order to catch up, he's got to invade jungle. He's got to try to steal jungle, but that's going to put him at risk and get caught out here. And look at the camping that For the Dream is doing. They're playing so sneaky.
Yeah, they're just keeping that jungle locked down. Like you talked about, Vex really not having much of an opening. 09 gets knocked up by that Lumber. That's going to be a reset as For the Dream.
Wow. Look at that. Vex got the blue golem, and Poseidon last skill shots and last hits that jungle monster. The mechanics on these players are just so fun to watch. I mean, their jungle got invaded, yet he still was able to secure the buff and made For the Dream waste their time with that engage, and that it didn't work out in their favor.
Yeah, For the Dream, I mean, they got the right starts that they wanted, but you're entirely correct. Team Newb, once again, showing their prowess that, like we said, it's not just the team as a unit, all 5 people, but also every individual shines so much for Team Newb that they can overcome those obstacles that are thrown in their way, and they're now keeping up. There's still a 1K difference because of the Abyssal Dragon, but Team Newb not really feeling that far behind just yet.
Yeah, this is key now. Crash is level 4. He has his ultimate. It's going to come down to how Crash and how Lumber is able to set up these ultimate plays. And look at the Lumber ultimate.
Wow, the
Coco is going to
lockdown.
go down. He's going to actually be able to get out using Angelic Splendor to save himself. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that was a smart play, having to use whatever you can, and also just in time for the Abyssal Dragon, so Team Newb set up for it. It's not going down fast enough. Vex is going to be able to secure it, and Crash comes in with the ultimate, but gets blocked by the wall, so couldn't go over, has to chase down. First blood goes to Poseidon. Is he going to start his rampage across the entire match? We see him still hanging out as Crash offers that front line, and now Crash ultimate ends, and the entire team of Team Newb backs out.
Man, what expert play there. Team Newb saw the Malik ultimate. They saw it was telegraphed. They then back off. They didn't let the entire team get hit by the ultimate. And then Vex expertly secures the Abyssal Dragon. That was such a clutch play that puts Team Newb right back into this game. And then they secure a kill by catching the Team For the Dream out of position there. And that's a positive trade there. Get first blood, get the dragon, and resulting in an even gold now.
Yeah, Rain's shot coming in, like you said, was telegraphed, but also left him away from the team. So For the Dream losing that one kill. Now things are back even. We're about at the 5-minute mark, and Team Newb, you can tell the energy is kind of back in their favor. Mr. Rain perhaps getting caught out once again. Their Lumber with a nice knockup, but Mr. Rain still falling so low. Crash slows him down by pushing him against the wall, but Rain is able to escape. Never mind, Poseidon jumps in with a lot of burst, but seeing Shirko on the side, Poseidon smartly backs out, not getting a second kill just yet.
Yeah, Poseidon is playing this Liliana so well. He's landing almost every skill shot, doing so much burst damage. And as a result, he's basically forcing the enemy team to run away from a Liliana when you want to do the opposite. You want to engage onto her and kill her immediately because of the amount of burst and AoE damage she can provide to her team. So this is working out really well for Team Newb in terms of how aggressive they're playing against a really aggressive For the Dream.
Yeah, meanwhile, we haven't seen too much from Rez just yet. A couple rotations, 07 going down very low on that Yorn, but able to turn around, try to provide some poke, but it's not going to be good enough for 09 and 07 to fight this 2v2. They'll back out, slow things down. Vex looking for another opportunity. And we do have Poseidon just trying to clear the wave, see if there's a window to roam around. The Dragon's back up. They're looking for that timing. Rez is already halfway down the map for the Dream. So we have Zenio having to come in with a good ult. Mr. Rain comes down. The shock only hitting 09, so not much damage. But 09's caught out. Not used his ultimate just yet. Turns it around. Knocks two people against the wall. The Dragon goes to Vex 9. Team Newb with that advantage on the objective. Shirko so low. Barely blinks out. 09 still rampaging on 3 people. Gets out with a sliver of health. And this is what we saw from Team Newb, going in and back out and fighting that skirmish, able to get another couple kills. 3-0, another kill for Poseidon. That's 4-0 in favor of Team Newb.
Man, what a play. Vex again steals the Dragon. They back off when the Malik is ulting. He doesn't get much of the team, and I felt like he could have positioned that shock ultimate to hit more of Team Newb, but Team Newb just showing why they are the #1 team right now. I mean, this synergy and the way they're counter-engaging, they turn around a deficit and now into a nice healthy lead, and Poseidon is just going off on this Liliana. The way that he's able to land these skill shots and land his AoE damage is working out so well for Team Newb.
Yeah, 2-0-1 already out of the 4 kills for Team Newb. Poseidon showing that prowess once again. I mean, if this trend continues, that Liliana has to be a big consideration for a ban or a first pick on the side of For the Dream. Now, Rain getting caught out a little bit, gets a stun, but gets out with the shock, using that ultimate as an escape this time around. And we are going to see Team Newb pressuring this bottom side of the map. They should get that tower, and that puts them at 2 towers to none.
Wow, they need to shut down 07. Again, he's playing Yorn, who's so weak in the early game. They're not able to get any kills or ganks on him, and as a result, he's now getting fed. 4.4k gold lead, the highest and most fed on Team Newb. He already has Fafnir's Talon, that attack speed, that lifesteal. Now he's building towards even more damage. It's going to make him a force to be reckoned with once he reaches 2 tier 3 damage items.
Yeah, Vex just showing up for a quick little cheeky attempt at a steal and maybe a bit of a bait, but no one biting too hard. For the Dream, able to chase the enemies out of their own jungle, try to reset. But Team Newb starting to encroach slowly but surely into the side of For the Dream. I mean, that red side of the jungle now contested all throughout. Abyssal Dragon being left on. Vex actually leaves the Dragon as Rez gets brought down to half health. Sentinel will be secured for Team Newb. Dragon restarted. Vex and Poseidon they seem pretty confident, but Shirko, there's 3 people. Violet coming in as well. They get stunned. Grizzly Q on there, gets the knockout. Can they get the steal? No, Vex, once again, what a perfect secure for that Abyssal Dragon. Oh, and
yeah,
Dark
they get Darks
Slayer.
there. That was insane. The amount of damage from Yorn here on 7, and look at the gold and item advantage there. They have already three tier 3 items done. Nakrot and Yorn have the Spirit of Longinus. That means they're able to pierce and shred a ton of armor from the person that they're going to focus. So now they got to be really careful. Even if you're a tank like Grizzly, you can get knocked down really easy. Look at the damage they burst that they got to Rez.
Yeah, Rez is really low. Violet has to watch out, has to back out. Grizzly Q just trying to buy some time, but gets left behind for a quick kill, and that's going to be another tower for Team Newb. The engine has been put into full throttle, and they're just pushing forward as they try to pressure this high ground tower. Violet's back with full health, same with Rez, but Shirko now the one brought down to half. So much poke coming in from both Poseidon and 07. Once again over the wall, and a nice snipe by 07 right as Rain tries to start a fight with Shock before the Dream. A second too late. They lose 2 members, and they're going to have to back out.
Oh my god, Renegade Violet just got deleted by... Look at the item difference. He cannot out-trade the Yorn right now. He just has a rank breaker and a cleaving sword. That is not enough damage to out-trade the Yorn. And unfortunately, Violet falls, and look at Vex here. Oh my goodness.
Nice snipe. Vex playing that perfectly, just trying to back out and then get the more secure kill. 07 being map aware, perfect accuracy when that ultimate picks up the kill, and now both high ground towers in the mid and bottom side of the map being pressured. One goes down, the second one at half health. Rain not able to fight Vex9. Vex9 barely losing any health as he fights that Malik, and that's going to be 2 high ground towers down. All 5 members will be up soon for the Dream, but 2 of them low once again. So they're gonna have to replenish. The minions are just getting wiped out. Vex goes in. Rain jumps way far forward, trying to get the shock onto the enemy team, but Team Newb has no regard for that. Rez goes down. We see the Malik going down as well. Shirko trying to stay alive on that Tula, but it's not enough damage, and that is going to be the core as Team Newb secures Game 1 in this week's finals for EU.
Just like that, Team Newb secures themselves a Game 1 victory over for the Dream, but more importantly, they did not let up. It was pedal to the metal the entire game, not dropping a single death in the entirety of that game number 1.
Yeah, and the objective game was won by For the Dream. In the early game, they got the first dragon. They're doing really well. They had a 1k gold lead, but then Vax with these steals and 0-7. Once he got his items, he got his mid-game power spike, he just carried the game with that Yorn. I mean, the amount of damage on towers and the kills he was getting, it was too much.
Yeah, like you said, it's an objective game because it was 9-0. That's not an immense amount of kills, right? I mean, it's a very big difference, but it wasn't immense. But I think the moment we really saw that come to fruition is when they secured both the Dragon and the Dark Slayer at once. And the fact that they're able to do that with that confidence across the entire map showed everyone that Team Newb, it did conquer the entire map, essentially.
There's a difference between passive play and scared play, and I think the latter was certainly the main storyline thinking about For the Dream. They came in with a comp that they wanted to execute upon, but they didn't take any of the steps for that execution. They had a win condition, they had a winning strategy, but it seemed like the second they loaded onto the battlefield, everything fell apart.
Yeah, it's just Team Newb was able to position themselves better. Malik never got a really clutch shock ultimate onto Team Newb. I mean, they would just disperse, and Malik only hit one person usually, and it didn't get the full value. And also, For the Dream bunched up too much. I mean, Poseidon got so much value from Liliana, and then Vex got multiple people knocked up, and then Crash, on top of that, landed some key metamorphosis ultimates that stunned the entire team of For the Dream. So their positioning needs work. You know, although they're both good at cutting fights, the positioning is what really costed For the Dream the losses.
Team Newb's positioning, however, is what really done them off the mark. We can see in the Dragon fight here it was every step of the way Team Newb knew exactly where they needed to be.
Yeah, and look at the Malik. Only gets the stun in 0-9, but look at Rez. They're kind of misfocused. If Rez went on to 0-9, then maybe it would have been better, but Crash had the ultimate up. It didn't matter. And look at, they're all bunching up and taking so much AoE damage. And as a result, Crash is getting so much value. When he uses an ability, he jumps onto enemies in his metamorphosis state, he slows you a lot. And look at the way they're cutting. Just perfect cutting, not dying, and exactly what For the Dream did against their previous opponent, you know, Team Newb is doing now.
Yeah, Team Newb able to kind of take that as their own advantage. And again, we're seeing a lot of that kiting style play that we talked about for them in their first semifinal is still coming true in this final. And For the Dream didn't have an answer yet in game 1. We'll see if they can change that for game 2.
Well, you don't want them to change it for game 2 because your reverse psychology of predictions.
Well, I said, you know, Team Newb wins game 1, maybe For the Dream will, and maybe we'll go to game 3. I'm fine. Now I got nothing to lose, right? Like, we're fine with this game 2. I can rest assured. Either way, Team Newb's going to win the series. It's all going to be fine. The statistics hold true.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm going to take the words right out of your mouth. You have nothing to lose. This is a situation coming into game number 2. For the Dream needs to understand that mentality. We talk all the time about how teams play either they play to win or they play not to lose. In this situation, it has to be the former for the Dream explicitly.
Yeah, they have to make sure they don't focus the support. I mean, that one fight really turned it around. They were ahead, but after that fight, they felt so behind. Losing towers next, Yorn gets fed, Yorn gets the kills, and that's just too much. So they cannot bunch up against a Crush like that. They have to understand their win condition and play to it. And as a result, Team Newb just played their composition better, even though I felt like For the Dream won the draft, they didn't play as well. So Team E, Ryoma, Omen being taken off the map. Again, really smart bans by Team Newb there. Omen, like I called last match, is the key ban against For the Dream. Without Omen, Rain does not do as much in the side lane.
So for Newb, do you ban out the Liliana here in fear that For the Dream is going to secure it right away, or do you feel so confident that you're okay with Shirko's Liliana, you'll counter it with something else, maybe the Flash?
Exactly. I would love to see that happen here. Let Liliana go through. Let Shirko play it because his Liliana is so good as well, and then pick the Flash right into it. So I'll be curious to see if Liliana's will be picked up by For the Dream because I think they need to. They cannot give Liliana over to Team Newb. But it looks like they will.
Okay, well, they're securing the Zennial. I mean, last time Team Newb also wasn't, you know, jumping on the Liliana immediately. They waited one round. Obviously, this time they're on that red side. So I'd be surprised if they don't pick it up out of these 2 picks.
Yeah.
Now, Zennial was the first pick for Team Newb on blue side in game number 1. Was the Zennial that much of a factor to warrant For the Dream picking it up round 1 instead of the Liliana, which they get?
Yeah, Liliana is much a higher priority pick. However, Flash could work well into her. I mean, right now, if they don't play Flash, they need to play Kali at this point because Kali beats Liliana late game, like, really easily because her ultimate outranges Liliana and it can force a team to back off from tower. So they're picking the Zenio Malik combo here. That's a really strong combo, but side lane wise, Lubu is going to be really dangerous. And the Kroth will be picked again here from Team Newb, and that's a really strong statement from Vex here. Oh actually
Zephy's. Yeah, I mean, Zephy's obviously was left off the table last game, but now it is available. So Zephy's and the Crash coming back as well. I mean, I think no reason to change that, right? It was pretty successful. Had a slow start, but that's how Crash works.
This also, in a lot of ways, could potentially, if not already, terrifies teams looking into the playoffs. Now, Team Newb has clinched the #1 seed. There is nothing for them to lose at this point in time other than bragging rights and potentially creating that much more of a chaotic disaster for the other teams 2 through 4. So playing something like a Crash, Suijay, do you feel like this is something that they feel is more of a power pick or is more of something to tell teams, we can play anyone, give us any computation of roster, and we're still going to shine?
That's exactly it. I mean, 07 is playing Lindis now. He can play Joker, he can play Yorn. Crash, although, is not as good, and Zephy's and Lubu is not as good into a L'Oreal. So when L'Oreal gets to late game, Shirko is going to be able to carry really, really hard with it. And you have a lot of protection. You have a Zenio, you have a Lumber, you have a Malik. Finnick also offers a little bit of protection because of his Hammer Cyclone ultimate. But it's looking good for the team if they can make it to the late game here and not get snowballed.
It looks good for them last game too. That's all I'm saying. But I agree with you, right? As we're seeing it, I think they're going and adapting the little parts they need to with the picks they need. Team Newb on the other side just showing more confidence, right? I don't think this is a matter of strategy for them for these picks.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, hey, we can play these heroes really well, so we're just going to try to win with our strengths.
Teams are loading onto the Antares battlefield, but we want to know, as always, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Are you enjoying? Does Chobra need to come back for week number 6? I don't know. Let us know. Head to Twitter. Use the hashtag Valor Series. Tweet us your predictions. Gentlemen, we're getting into the game. Team Newb is 1 win away from securing their 5th straight finals victory here in the Valor Series Europe for the Dream, looking to potentially tie it up and force a game number 3.
You know, we say they have nothing to lose, but to go through the inaugural season of the Valor Series and say that we had a 6-week streak total for the whole season at rank 1 would be something that Team Newb can boast about for a long, long time. So I expect them to play their hearts out in this game, as you see a pretty aggressive invade from For the Dream. It might actually cost him. Grizzly Q has a long way to run, but we're not seeing much follow-up yet from the side of Team Newb. They almost go for the dive. Coco one took a bit of a risk on that one.
Yeah, Coco did. He almost secured, though. Is able to land that 3rd knockout from Lubu's Red Stallion, that would have secured the kill. But that was an expert dodge from Grizzly Q to get under his tower and get to safety. However, they're going to maybe lose the red buff here.
Yeah, now the counter evade comes in. They know that Grizzly Q's so low. Same with Arena of Valor. And that buff, it looks like it is going to go to the side. And actually a kill, too. 09 picks up the kill on the side. And so Team Newb off to a great start once again. 09 with that red buff. And now Poseidon able to jump onto that opportunity and start the game with another kill. Things are not looking so hot for the Dream.
Yeah, this is not good. Finnick is a person that you want to rotate your jungle really fast. And look at it. They're invading and taking the blue. If they do, that's going to be a really tough situation. That is huge.
Wow.
Taking 2 buffs. It's going to put Arena of Valor pretty behind Finnick. Look, he's level 2 versus, level 3s for the most part on Team Newb.
Yeah, we just saw Vex hit that 3 as well, and the buffs being taken out. Crashed also with that might buff now as goes around roaming. That's going to help him out, just put a lot of pressure down, and that should be an easy Spirit Sentinel for Team Newb, and they can take this pretty slowly because they feel comfortable going down to that dragon. We are seeing For the Dream position for it, but not aggressively because they know they need to farm up. They're already so far behind that if they lose this fight accidentally, then there's no way of coming back. So they should really just keep an eye out, maybe try for a steal, but not much more than that. On the bottom side, Rez trying to chase out Coco. A little bit of a skirmish, but Coco now chasing out 2 people. It is starting to get a little low. That true damage coming in from Malik.
Yeah.
Dragon started.
Look at 07. Already level 4. They're probably going to secure this dragon. Unless a crazy steal can happen here. We may see it. Sharko takes it.
Sharko tried to turn the game around. 09 now solo. Not able to jump across the wall. Gets taken down right as he's attempting that escape. And that's 2 people down for Team Newb. That was not the result we expected from that dragon.
Yeah, that was huge. They're able to turn that around completely, and now their deficit is not that major, and their level advantage is not as big now. I mean, we saw Arena Violet only level 3 when Team Newb had level 4s and 5s. Now that Violet is more even, and the gold is trickling back in their favor, they're able to now turn this around and get some jungle from this, and even out their lead. And look at that. Arena of Violet now not far behind. 1.3k gold versus 1.5k on Vex is not too bad.
Yeah, I think that was a good reset for the game, right? They lost out a lot in the first 90 seconds, but they said, all right, just if we secure this and we can get a couple kills, Sherko coming in as the hero, gets the dragon first, and then a kill as well. And that brings them back to square one. So For the Dream now can relax a little bit, just play their own game. Wait for things to build up, but now here's a 3-person potential dive against Rez's Malak. He's getting pretty low. They're just gonna, the minions get cleared out too fast, so everyone on Team Newb backs out for the time being. We'll see if they hang around for much longer because mid lane is starting to see that pressure.
Yeah, look at that rotation there. Really nice job by Rez, not getting caught out there, playing them more safely because that's what they need. They need to not give any deaths because they're pretty even. So the next mistake is going to cost him. It looks like they're going to get the catch out 09 here.
Oh, 09 gets cut out, has to jump over the wall. Was pretty low, but has that leap and can escape over the wall. No chasing, of course, from For the Dream. Too close to the tower. But they're going to be happy knowing that they're starting to put the pressure back on. Coco actually checks a little too fast. Meanwhile, Spirit Sentinel being contested up top, but it's 3v1. That should be for Team Newb. Coco also escapes just fine. Doesn't go all the way into the brush. And both teams just playing to their advantages still. No big changes yet. Gold now back to being dead even as the dragon comes back up. And we see For the Dream starting. Arena Violet starts to hammer down that dragon. 09 on that crest, has that ultimate ready. Actually, also not up yet, and she can't jump in, so Arena Violet just going to secure that dragon just fine. We see the shot come down onto 2 people. Now the ultimate's up for Crash, but a second too late, just more use defensively to help save Coco, and both those players will have to escape the dragon in favor For the Dream.
Yeah, and look at 07 rotating on Lindis there. Trying to get the jungle. It's 07 here, constantly getting fed. They have to figure out a way to shut him down, because if he keeps taking jungle like this, he's going to get fed like the last game on Yorn and just do too much damage. And this slows down Violet's level progression as well. Arena Violet's going to slow down, not get the same levels, and as a result, fall behind in farm. Even though they did get the dragon, they need to respond to what 07 is doing. Otherwise, it will be a repeat of game 1.
Yeah, I think they're almost kind of forgetting about 07, right? You're not seeing too much other pressure and movement in the lanes, so maybe they're resting a little happy with the larger objectives they've gotten around the map, but I think you're entirely correct, Suijay. 07 slowly but surely building up as that silent killer as Team Newb just tries to stay alive and keep this game going long enough for them to see the fruit of their labor.
Yeah, look at it. Because of the rotation and how much faster they're farming in 07's rotation, it's allowed them to put pressure on top lane. It's exactly what they want here. And look at that, they're gonna probably take this tower down, but For the Dream needs to respawn here.
Yeah, Mr. Rain jumped in a little too early, used his ultimate to back out and also regroup with the team. They're able to keep that tower alive for now, and also the rotation, maybe a half step late so they couldn't get a kill, but enough to make sure that the fight doesn't continue. Rain actually trying to jump in once again, maybe a little too far out though, gets the knockup for Vex 9, and Rain goes too low. Poseidon helps jump in, Vex picks up the final blow. Shurko now being chased out by 07. A lot of damage coming in from Rain. Shurko has to watch out. 07 not able to secure it. The heal coming out. Crash wants the dive, goes in. Shurko with the endure, but it doesn't last long enough as they get another kill, another tower, and another one as Team Newb just rampages through the top side of the map.
Yeah, what a huge mistake by Rain there. By jumping into 3 people with Malice, he lost his escapability. He had no escape. He got CC'd, and they focused him down immediately, giving over 3 kills and a tower, and now a Dark Slayer. That is a huge mistake coming from For the Dream here. That's going to cost him dearly.
Yeah, things got even, but no longer quite a lead now for Team Newb as they are able to take just one small mistake from one player and turn it into 4 different advantages that they could get around the map. Now 5 if you really want to consider this the aftershock of that fight up top. So Team Newb once again showing everybody that they're just so aware of the entire game, right? So aware of the entire battlefield and what's important. Now the dragon as well. This is all a snowball effect from one single mistake.
Yeah, this is huge. Look at it. It went from an even gold lead to now 5K. And look at the fight here. Look at the Crush ultimate.
Yeah,
this
09
is a
goes
lot.
in, pushes all 4 people against Rez, tries to keep the fight a little bit longer with the shock across. 09 dives a little too far deep, so Shurko's able to get 1 kill. The tower does go down. Team Newb has to get out if they don't want to kind of give back any advantages. They only lose the 1 death on 09, which isn't the worst thing because they got the tower.
Yeah, they did get the tower. They trade 1 death. And again, look at that, those split pushing. They're always out trading. Doesn't matter if they lose a kill or it's a 1-1. They are able to convert that into 1, 2, in this case, situation, 2 towers. And then Mr. Rain getting caught out again. He's got to back off immediately. And no, he gets killed by the execute coming from Vex. And execute on Vex on a Zephyrs, that's pretty smart. They just basically give the farm to 07, let him get fed, and allow him to carry, and Vex just has execute and being the main damage dealer distraction for Team Newb.
Yep, Poseidon we saw doing a cheeky 1 hit on the tower before backing out, just showing the prowess on the mobility. Vex has to dash out, doesn't want to fight against 2 people, was looking for potentially a catch. Now they think it's a 2v2, but it's suddenly a 4v2, so Team Newb has to be careful. We are going to see the buff go on the side of For the Dream. 07 gets caught out too far, and there's a shock on 2 people. 07 gets deleted. Arena Violet picks up that kill. Vex running out. They don't want to risk any further. 09 is a sacrificial lamb this time as he goes down. For the Dream, a bit of a victory on that one. Coco split pushing those. Suijay, you talked about Team Newb always going for a better trade. Coco's just trying to stick to this. Doesn't have enough damage nor enough minions, though. He's going to have to back out. Poseidon Can he come in for a surprise shock? There's a good stun from Poseidon, keeps Coco alive.
Yeah, that split pushing is working wonders when they had to respawn immediately. They were to save the high ground tower, which is critical for the Dream. They need to get Fennec to the late game. They need to let Arena of Valor get more fed because they still are behind. Even though they had a nice engage, they got some kills on their side. It is still not enough. They're giving over Abyssal Dragons and more objectives. It's 5 towers to 0 that Team Newb has a lead on. So For the Dream needs to start contesting and getting these objectives, but at the same time, they need to not fight a full 5-on-5 or 4-on-4 because they are behind, they don't have a level advantage, and do not have the item lead.
Yeah, we are seeing the pressure come out from Team Newb, but slow down a little bit, a bit of a reset moment. We'll see how For the Dream reacts. It looks like they're just going to have to sacrifice this tower, actually, in the mid lane. So now all high ground towers are available for the taking. And is this going to be a dive? A nice pushback from 09. Once again, Kresh just playing that front line. Rez's shot doesn't hit anybody, and the tower goes down too early. So that division isn't going to be in the favor of For the Dream. And we are going to see Shurko go down right after Rez goes down as well. With Shurko down, there's not much of a chance that they could come back. Grizzly Q also sacrificed as Arena of Valor and Mr. Rain try to stay alive. Coco with a sliver of health, but just using that lifesteal to heal back up. And looks like Team Newb not done with the pushes just yet. Arena of Violet, this is risky. Watch out. There we go. Poseidon chases him out. Tries to go for a further kill. Misses a skill shot. Actually takes too many hits from the core. Eventually goes down. Mr. Rain right now For the Dream just trying to keep this game alive, but Mr. Rain isn't anywhere near tanky enough. Rez comes back though, and that's not soon enough. The shock is the second lane, and Team Newb secure their victory once again in Week 5.
Just like that, Team Newb, we said it earlier and we're going to say it again, supremacy reigns supreme. That was definitely a redundant statement, but it doesn't matter because Team Newb walks away with yet again another win For the Dream. Despite the dreams that they may have had, was not in their favor. Team Newb walks away.
Yeah, For the Dream was on that momentum train, and then Team Newb just came in like a brick wall and stopped it in its track. I mean, the way they're playing, but what they do is you make a mistake against this team, they punish you 10 times over. And on top of that, they trade really well. If they lose a death 1-1, they get 1 or 2 towers from that. So they're converting and just making better trades every single time.
Yeah, this time we didn't see as many of the flashy plays and kind of invincible moments from Team Newb, but like you said, despite the deaths, right, we see them saying, oh, you got a kill on us, well, we'll get a tower and maybe 2 kills, or vice versa. They'll continue to push forward so that they're always a step ahead of their opponents.
Team Newb has the ability to recognize value trades. We talk about MOBAs, specifically Arena of Valor. It's a living game of chess. You've got moves, you've got counter moves, and you're always planning for that final end goal, knocking down the enemy's king. In this game, of course, it's the core. Team Newb, their efficiency is something that, while you don't think it can get better from week to week, even making roster changes, Vex and Coco on the starting lineup, still show that high level of efficiency.
Yeah, they have such a sheer understanding of the game, not only from a micro and the mechanics of each player, but on the macro, how they're rotating, split pushing, trading objectives. They secured so many keys. They secured Darkslayer early, then used that Darkslayer buff to then rotate, take more objectives, more towers, and by then, the snowball got way too big.
Yeah, I think Team Noob's just so aware and so smart about it, right? They're quick on their feet, and even if maybe it wasn't to their original plan, they're always ready and communicating. You can really see that team communication coming through because those types of rotations don't happen without a lot of talking between each other.
Well, that snowball that you were talking about, Sweet J, was certainly omnidirectional, as the rotations of Team Newb is something else that speaks to their strength, as we can see in this replay.
Yeah, this is key here. Mr. Rain goes in against a 2, and again, now it's 3v1, and as a result, because of this play, look at it, the gold is only a 1,000 deficit. Because of this play, they gave over 3 deaths. They give over 2 towers, and then it's a 4K deficit, and that is a huge pain. Look at that. They respawn by that mistake. Team Newb punishes that mistake heavily by responding and rotating as 4 to secure additional kills here. And this was just devastating for the Dream here when they were doing so well in the early game. You know, they're holding their own, and you can see one mistake like that can cost you huge map control.
Well, every week you have to select somebody, one person that represents the team's level of efficiency, prowess, but more importantly, the fact that they won. This week, it's going to go down to 0-7. The Lindis explicitly, every week he shows up with something different. Lindis in this instance is no fault.
Yeah, he played the Moon Champion so well, so aggressive, and Yorn, his Yorn was amazing. Yeah. He knew how to proc Yorn's passive. You auto attack a couple times, and then you have that nice burst of arrows, attacking tower from out of range. Everything about how 0-7 played mechanically was so sound and just right on the point, which allowed him to help carry his team and secure a lot of these kills.
Yeah, had a lot of those good snipes on Yorn, but also I think the part that you mentioned mid-game, Suiche, about how Lindis was constantly just starving out the enemy jungle, right? That's not something that's always in the spotlight, but had a huge impact on how fast For the Dream, or rather couldn't, get back into the game.
Yeah.
Well, week number 5 for Europe has concluded. The bracket, yet again, looks like a similar one at the top. Team Newb walking away with 5 straight wins. That is no easy task, but more importantly, it is the flexing of the muscles over in the relegation bracket as well. We had 2 more members that aren't going to have to face the open qualifiers. Nova and Queso both walk away with 2-0 victories, but I know what we all want to see, what we're all excited to see are those standings. Team Newb clearly at the top, 750 points, but this is where things are going to get spicy. Vitality, For the Dream, Royal, and Nova. All 4 of those teams are going to be vying for the other top 3 spots that are left available to make them to E3. Next week is going to be crazy.
Yeah, I do not want to be seed 4 because you're going to face Team Newb, and they're going to make you look like noobs at the playoffs, so you got to be very careful, and that's the key spot that Royal, Nova, whoever is in contention for that 4th spot, they have to avoid.
Yeah, I think you put it best, right? While getting to E3 is going to feel great, if you know going in that you're up against someone who has 750, potentially 900 points, that's not something that you want. Like, that's such a big burden to carry. But either way, again, 3 spots still kind of up for contention in which order they're in and also who makes it to that seed 4. So next week's going to be a really spicy one.
All right, Will, I'm giving you one more mental burden, one more hot seat question for Europe before we get over. There are 4 teams in contention for those top 3 spots. Your prediction...
Okay, you can't do that.
I am.
Wow. Listen, just because I'm so good, you can't just keep pushing someone to their human limitations. All right, bring it on, All right, I'm ready.
Vitality, For the Dream, Nova, Royal. Those are your 4 teams. You've seen them play. 3 spots remain. Who's staying, and what one team is going home?
So Vitality and For the Dream are staying.
Okay. Nova or Royal?
Wait, but I don't want to have to do this.
No, you're going to have to do this.
I don't want to hypothetically send people home and bring people to E3.
Hey, man, sometimes you just have to be the bad guy. Sometimes you just have to understand.
You're not wrong.
Choba turns to the Cobra.
Oh, my gosh. All right. I'm going to go with Royal. I'm going to go Royal.
Royal's staying in?
Yeah, and I think Nova's going to lose the spot.
Okay.
I'm not going to elaborate. Listen, that's just going to make it worse. I'm just going to leave it as is.
I'm not going to ask Suijay because Suijay's here next week. It was your last hot seat question. There you go.
Yeah, that's it.
You guys heard it. If you're watching this right now and you want to make sure that you can keep track of what he said, make sure you head on over to our YouTube, youtube.com/Valor Series. That way you can clip, keep, and store in your pocket those predictions of Chobra, because we will find out who will be the top 4 for Europe next week. Week number 6 is coming up very soon. Remember, things are going to be crazy. Things are going to be awesome. North America is up next, 2 p.m. Pacific. We will see you guys in a bit.